This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free. Hey y'all, it's so good to see you this Sunday morning. I hope y'all are having a good weekend. I stayed up late last night hanging out and watching YouTube and talking with my friends. Some of them. I want to say hey to y'all real quick. Hey, Hio, Sarah, Lori, Abellis, Indie Girl, Bad Girl, Rubber Ramada, Mary, Wee Gob, Shite, Indie Girl, Rachel, it's good to see you. Queen Olive, Ruthann, Beach Bum, Gray Moon, Corey, Mary, Lorty, Katia, Teresa, Weegob, Sue Joy, Miss Kimmy, Caroline, Tony, Manda, Jenny Jen. I think I got everybody. I read Abellis talking to y'all. Caroline, good to see you. Tori. If I missed you, what's next? Hello, Chrissy knows it all. Katia, I see you. Mary has been a member for 2 months. Let me see if it's over here yet. Yep, there it is. Mary, thank you for being a member for 2 months. That is awesome. I am working on redoing some things for the channel. I was playing around in CapCut last night. I'm thinking about kind of redoing the intro and doing some other things. Real quick on the stuff in Western North Carolina, a while back on a live stream, we raised $650. YouTube took their cut because of the way I raised the money. I don't have like a Cash App or something like that. I don't ever plan on having anything like that anyway. I was finally able to donate the whole $650. I think it ended up being $667. But I heard last night while my husband was listening to X or something that President Trump went to Western North Carolina, and all the people that were like literally freezing to death. I know when we watched that video, a young child, a young baby had already passed away from being so cold out there. And evidently Trump has gotten them all nicely furnished apartments from what I heard. I'm going to look more into that, but if that's what happened, I'm really glad that something's being done about it, and those people are no longer literally freezing to death. It's a whole situation. Today we're going to talk about depositions. Okay, we're gonna kind of watch them. That was the wrong thing. So first, let's talk about what is a legal deposition. Okay, because we need to know that first for you to understand kind of what we're doing today. Hey, Smoky Mountain Mermaid. It's good to see you, love. Thank you for being here. So a deposition per Google is illegal. It says a legal deposition is a formal out-of-court process where a witness or party answers questions under oath. Depositions are part of a pretrial discovery process and are used to gather information and evidence from the opposing side. How it works: a witness is sworn in and answers questions under penalty of perjury. A court reporter transcribes the testimony. The witness may also be audio or video recorded. Each party has the opportunity to ask questions. Why is it important? Depositions help parties know what a witness will say at trial. Depositions create evidence that can be used if the witness changes their story at trial. Depositions help parties explore the strengths and weaknesses of the opposing party's case. Who is involved? The deposition, the deposing attorney, the deposing attorney, the opposing party, the attorney for the opposing party, the witness, and a court reporter or videographer. Where it's held, depositions are usually held in the office of one of the lawyers in the case. Okay, so a deposition is basically they're going to go over what the witness saw, what their testimony was, what they told police in the beginning, and they're going to get them ready for court. Okay. Eyes Wide Open, thank you for becoming a member, and it's good to see you. Hey girl. Hey girl. Hey you girl over there. Thank you so much. Kay at Eyes Wide Open, thank you so much for that. I'll come pick you up on the crazy train. Make sure you leave your coffee at home because it will spill and burn you. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. We are on the way to arrest Jen Soto. You got to run. You got to have some speed jumping on that thing. If you're getting off, you got to tuck and roll. That's just the crazy train. Thank you all for being here. Again, so basically they're pulling these witnesses into court and they're going to go over what they told police, okay, what their testimony was to police. They're going to basically get it ready for court, go over it again, make sure they're ready for court and all of that. So what we have is what they told the officers. I have gone through this list of depositions and I have pulled their original statements. So while I can't say that this is the actual deposition, I can say that this is what they're going to talk about. This is what they're going to go over. This is what they're going to get them prepared for court. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen to the original testimonies of these people and hear what they told the police. So we have an idea of what's going on in the deposition, right? Because they're going to go over their witness statement. I hope that kind of makes you understand what we're doing. Hey, JPL, Anders, and Crime All the Time. It's good to see y'all. Ella Blue is number 34. Thank you for that. Please hit the thumbs up on your way in. Jenna's Gypsy. Thank you for being here. So yeah, basically we're going to go over what they told police and listen to what their witness testimony is going to be. We won't be privy to the depositions, but this is, I mean, you know, using deductive reasoning, this is what they're going to talk about. They're going to call them in. They're going to say, all right, this is what you told the police. This is what we need you to, again, come to court and basically tell the court what you told police. So let's go over that and let me make sure you're prepared to be questioned on the stand. So we're going to go over that and listen to what they told police. So we know basically what they're going to say in court, what they're going to say in these depositions. Hey, Dusty Pear. So the people who were deposed so far that I know of was Madison Brady, Mr. Brett, Kenneth Dale. I can tell you I don't know who Kenneth Dale was. I have a suspicion. So we will try to find that one. I think I know who it is. And when we get to that witness statement, I will let you know. The other one is the Belmores, which are the neighbors, the ex-girlfriend, Miss Alejandro, Mr. Carpenter, Mr. Karras, Miss Brittany, Miss DeLuca, Miss Ellis, and Jared, detective from Sarasota County. We don't have that one either because obviously that is another law enforcement officer. So I have a list prepared of the witness statement testimonies that they gave to the police that they're going to talk about in the depositions because, you know, they're going to talk about what they witnessed. So we will start with the neighbors. We're going to start with the second page first, and it is Mr. Barbara and Gerald Belmore. Now, there is two interviews from them. We'll probably listen to both of them because since they gave two interviews with police, they're going to go over both interviews in the depositions because, you know, both interviews contain different information that they're going to have to testify to in the court. So we're going to listen to both of the Canadian neighbors' testimony or, you know, swearing under oath, talking to the police, basically their witness statements, and see what they're going to talk about in the depositions. So we will start with this testimony. I'm also going to be bringing up.
Well, we came on December.
I don't know why it does that. I'm also going to be bringing up stuff that just doesn't add up with the things that we've already heard. I'm going to start this. I will grab the link so you can come up if you would like to. This audio is from the neighbors. We learn a little bit more about Madeline and her grandpa.
Detective Rembis with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. This is in reference to case number 24-11313. It is February 28, 2024 at 16:41 hours. And with me is
Beach Bum, these are not new files. These are the original statements that were given to the police. And when they call them in for the depositions in court, they're going to say, okay, this is what you told police. Now we need you to say it in court, and we're going to prepare you to be questioned on the statement that you gave police. So let's go over the statement that you gave police, and let's get you prepared to court. That's basically what they're going to do in the deposition. So what we're doing is listening to the statements again that they gave police, because this is what they're going to be reviewing in the depositions. Mainless Mom, it's good to see you. If I haven't explained it enough, please let me know and I'll try to break it down more if you're not quite understanding. If anybody out there is not. Oh, Newfoundlanders. I think it's Finlanders or Foundlanders. Yeah, they talk about that they live in Canada and come down south like a lot of people do. I apologize. See, I don't know nothing about that. That's
Your full name, please.
Gerald.
Can you tell me everything that you know about the missing person?
Well, we just heard about it. We saw all the commotion overnight, but we just heard about it this morning that there was here that is missing.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't seen her. We usually see her coming home with her school, and apparently it takes her to school in the morning. But we haven't seen her for a few days. So she usually comes and takes the dog out for a walk to do his number. And but like I say, we haven't seen her this week at all. Last time we saw her, I believe it could have been Saturday or Sunday. We saw her taking the little dog out. So
okay. What about the?
I hadn't seen him since last year. He wasn't here around last year, and this year we saw him about a week and a half ago. We saw him coming to the unit and leaving.
Okay. And you've been here since?
We came on December 28th. Well, we were here on the 28th. And then we left for a cruise on July the 2nd for 9 and 10 days. So we were back here on January 11th. We were back and we've been here since. So.
Okay. And in the past few days, have you seen any of the family members?
Yes.
Now, I was reviewing last night their what they told police, like what the police narrative was, and they seem to think that Jen and Stefan were married, and Stefan was some type of bioengineer, which I found hilarious, to say the least. Hey, Miriam, it's good to see you. I hope you're having a blessed Sunday, love. Hey, Rhonda, good to see you.
Okay. When was that, more or less?
It was last week, sometimes last week. I don't know, I can't nail down the day, but it was last week. We saw him come and go.
Okay. Was he driving or walking?
No, he came out. When I saw him,
That was a good catch, Lori. I know they did say that he was gone. They thought he was working or something because they hadn't seen him. Now, keep in mind, they just come down in the winter, from what I understand. But they thought he was working because they hadn't seen him, and then they saw him that week that he came down. Hey, Shell, good to see you.
I was going out to check my van to make sure the windows were all closed, and he was coming out, and he went to the white car that they own it together. But he went and sat in the white car, and then I didn't see him after that.
Was that on the weekend or earlier in the week that you remember?
I believe it was on the weekend. It was on the weekend, either Saturday or Sunday.
Okay.
I wonder why he's sitting in Jen's car and just chilling in Jen's car when he has a car. And the other thing I found weird was that Jen Soto, when she does an interview with one of the police, she says he usually drives that car, that old Buick, keyword Buick. And his dad states that the Buick is supposed to be down somewhere being worked on. So why is the Buick in the parking lot appearing not to have been worked on, and he's driving Dad's Lincoln? He told Dad that the Buick's being worked on, so he needs Dad's Lincoln. But the Buick's in the parking lot at Jen Soto's. How did it get there if he's been gone for months? Why was it there? Why is he driving the Lincoln just this one day? If the Buick is running, I mean, because if it's in the parking lot, I would assume it's not being worked on unless he's working on it. And God knows, I don't think that man needs to work on a damn thing. It probably wouldn't run very long if he got it running at all. Hey, Sarah. And Chrissy knows it all. Oh, I'm glad that you can listen to us too. Miss Kimmy Akers, it's good to see you. Miss Kimmy says, here's a thought. When Jen said the last time she saw Maddie was Wednesday, then corrected herself, she had zero details of what Maddie was wearing. Didn't mention specific gifts, etc. Yes, that is a question that we have talked about, because we know that she was at Grandma's house until after the birthday party, and I think they state that she went to Grandma's on that Wednesday. So if she slipped up and had a Freudian slip, it could be that she really didn't see Madeline at all whatsoever when she came home, taking into consideration the alleged speculation that it was normal for Stefan and Madeline to be upstairs because she knew they were in a relationship. This is just a speculation. I don't know. I was not there. I did not see, thank God, because Stefan would have been dead if I'd have been there. But anyway, I speculate that it was normal for them to be upstairs and in bed, and if she got home late, she might not have seen them at all. So therefore, when she's telling police, I haven't seen her since Wednesday, that's the actual truth, because she was at Grandma's till the birthday party, gets back from the birthday party, and by the time Jen gets home, they're upstairs. So could be a Freudian slip. She corrects herself pretty quickly, like she's trying to remember to get back on script, in my opinion. Hey, BG.
I saw him.
Was he by himself at that time?
Yep, he was by himself.
And the white car, what does it look like?
I think it's a was it a
Sorry, I'll
Nissan?
just come out in my pajamas.
Of course.
We just got back from swimming. Oh,
Was it a Nissan that he's got, or the white car?
I don't know. What kind of car?
Is
Is it a 4-door, a 2-door, or something else?
So yeah, that's probably the actual conversation. Chrissy Knows It All said that Chris Stearns talks about how he paid to have Steppenster's car towed back to where the parents live when he moved back in with them. Right. So what's weird is Jen Soto says he usually drives that car, that Buick, making me think that she's pointing to the Buick in the parking lot. How did the Buick get there? What, I thought the Buick was down by Dad's house or somewhere being worked on. How is the Buick there when she's being interviewed by police? That's always been weird to me. Let me see. Commode. Stefan's talking in the commode. Rachel said, Sarah, exactly. I'm sure his parents gave him money to fix things and he spent it probably on substances. Lori said the teacher said Maddie wears the same clothes every day, so Jen would know what she told police. And then real quick, Rhonda said maybe Stefan lied to the neighbors about himself. What did Jen's former husband do? Wasn't he some kind of medical professional? They could be mixing them up. Good point. I can't remember, but I do think he had a pretty good job. So that probably could be it. Carrie Poteet says the police stated that his car was in his parents' driveway, unsafe to be driven. Okay, so why does she say that he drives that Buick right there and like references it being in the parking lot? I'll have to work on finding that so we can talk about it. Hey, Sarah, Fisher Blue, Valley Babies, and Anna, good to see you. Fisher Blue says Jen Soto said they talked about what she was going to wear and didn't lay it out. Yeah, I remember that. But she can't, she says that they talked about what she was going to wear, but she didn't see her put it on.
It's always parked beside our van.
Yeah, it's always parked beside ours there in the handicap.
In the handicap spot?
Yeah, in the handicap. Sorry, I.
But you know this car to be,
Yes.
As far as we know.
I'm going to work on pulling that, while we're listening to this, I'm going to work on trying to search and find where she talks about the Buick being right there, which I find weird. Linda said her ex-husband said he was told that Stephen Stearns was a buyer engineer. Yeah. Thank you, Linda. Smoky Mountain said, I want to know what the hell she meant by can't risk Maddie sleeping in the bed with her anymore. Girl, you and me both. And then Fisher said, yeah, after she lied about seeing her, Stephen Stearns dressed her, I think. I think he did too. And a lot of people have said, hello, wait, what? It's good to see you. Thank you for being here. A lot of people have said, what did she wear to bed? Because obviously she's not sleeping in a pair of jeans, that's what she was found in. So where are her bedclothes?
She drives it,
Yeah,
and she's got the handicap sticker.
right. But I saw him going to it. Now, whether or not he drives it, I don't know what he came in himself, his own car. I don't even know if he
I
has
don't
one.
know.
So,
What about the?
Juan?
Mhm.
I saw him once this year. I saw him once. I didn't get to talk to him. I saw him coming into the unit. 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
About 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks, week and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came and went in the unit.
He's always.
I meant to say hello to him, but I couldn't catch him before he went in.
He was always living there, and then they moved in with him. And
How long ago was that? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Like months, years?
Years ago.
Years.
Years
Okay.
ago.
Right after.
What's next says, I want to know what the text before and after. I can't risk sleeping with her anymore. Potato said Maddie always slept with her. Right. And they even asked her about it in the immunity interview, but she couldn't remember that text. And like I've said before, if you are texting somebody something, let's say they said, ask you to do, I'm going to make up something, ask you to make applesauce. No, that's not. If they asked you to clean the toilet, but cleaning the toilet makes you like deathly ill. Okay, let's say that. I don't know if that's a good comparison either, but we're gonna roll with it. And you're like, I can't clean the toilet anymore. I can't risk it. I can't risk it making me sick. What is it that you cannot risk? Okay, because for you to text somebody to disagree with them, to say, they asked you to do this and you're like, no, I can't do it anymore. I can't risk it. There could be some kind of retaliation, some kind of bad thing that could happen if I continue to sleep with her. What can't you risk? If you're going to text that to somebody because you know that they're asking you to do something, okay, and when you say, I can't risk it, I can't do that, basically telling them no, they're going to get a little bit upset. So the fact that you're having to text them, that is going to cause you to have a little bit of anxiety because you're like, I hate to break it to you basically, but she can't sleep with me anymore. I can't risk getting in trouble. That's going to give you a little bit of anxiety. You're going to know why you sent that text message. So why is it with that and everything else, she can't remember? She can remember. She doesn't want to admit what she really meant by that. It would be very hard to put jeans on a not alive person. That makes me wonder when Maddie was hurt. I mean, it's a good question. He drove a Lincoln, but Jennifer said it was a Cadillac. Lincoln is not a hoopty, by the way. It's a luxury brand. That is correct. And it was Cadillac. So maybe she was referencing the Lincoln. That makes more sense than what I thought, that he had two cars there. That makes a lot more sense. So I think that I don't even think I really need to search for it. I think, where was that? I think that she might have been mistaken and called the Lincoln a Cadillac. That does make more sense. Hey, Perfed, and hey, Zan. So I was probably mistaken by that, or, she was mistaken and I looked too much into it. Jen said, right, if she followed it up with she really needs her sleep, that would be different. Right.
After they bought the place.
And
And like him and
I know.
like two peas in a pod. He taught her how to ride her bicycle and took her. He used to take her to school.
Yeah.
And
we told him he was fixing up a van to travel around the country. And we told him, I said, boy, when you leave, I said, she's really going to miss you. And he said, yeah.
He said, yeah, I'm going to really miss him. He had tears in his eyes. It was kind of sad.
Hmm.
But anyways.
Does he still visit that you know?
Well, I've only seen him once. Last year we
year.
Saw him quite a few times. He'd come in with the van and then he'd
But
go
we're
in
not here all
and
the
doing
time
his,
either. We're out and about sometimes, and so we don't. He could have been here more times. I know he comes, I think, and does his wash here.
Yeah, but this year I saw him once.
Yeah, but he could have
Okay.
been.
Somebody said, asked about, did we find out how much money he made or where the money came from? No, but I can almost guarantee you with the amount of pictures and videos he had of Madeline and the fact that he had pictures and videos of other children, that he was making money off of the pictures and videos that he was making. You don't make 1,700 videos for personal use, not to be graphic, but that's not a personal use thing. And with these people on the internet, in order to receive pictures and videos, you have to also produce them. It's basically a way of saying, you know, you're not going to snitch on me because I could snitch on you. And so I do believe he was making money from that. Y'all got a lot of great comments. I'm going to read a couple of them and then I will just keep highlighting them. Shell said also, that text is cryptic to all of us. So Stephen Stearns knew exactly what she was saying. They are both aware of the same risk and just shows Jen Soto was involved with the essay and possibly murder of poor Maddie. I mean, again, with a text like that, I don't understand there's only so many conclusions we could come up with. Like it could only mean a couple of things. You're not worried about risking sleeping with Maddie if you're just sleeping. I mean, you know, let's think logically here. Something else is going on when you're sleeping with Maddie that you can't risk. What is that? I mean, you know, just thinking logically. Carolina said, in my honest opinion, every potato lied about it and said, we'll come back and bite her. She is going to get caught up in her wicked web of lies. Madeline Soto deserves complete justice until Jen Soto gets locked up. Yeah, and it's looking like they're not going to. So did they say that they saw Stephen Stearns Sunday afternoon, meaning the day of Madeline's birthday party? Let me rewind. They wouldn't have seen him at night because they said it was during the day. We need to listen to that again. Yeah, because they saw him and he wasn't there until Sunday night. Maybe part of the what's next said maybe part of the motivation to get rid of Maddie was losing one of the most used babysitters. I never understood the motive unless she was going to tell or was pregnant. I don't know. I mean, I think that she was going to tell, or she could have possibly been with child. Smoky Mountain, I've wondered if he was with that involved with the Santa thing too. All right, I'm going to back this up a little bit because we do need to hear like the last time that they saw Stephen, because that's important. He wouldn't have been there until nighttime, especially in February. 8:30 is going to be night, and that's when she got back from the party.
Know this car to be
Yes.
As far as we know,
she drives it.
Yeah.
And she's got the handicap sticker.
Right. But I saw him going to it. Now, whether or not he drives it, I don't know what he came in himself, his own car. I don't even know if he has one.
Know.
So.
What about the
Juan?
Mm-hmm.
I saw him once this year. I didn't get to talk to him. I saw him coming into the unit. 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
About 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks, week and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came and went in the unit.
He's always.
I meant to say hello to him, but I couldn't catch him before he went in.
He was always living there, and then they moved in with him. And
how long ago was that? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Like months, years?
So right now they're talking about Juan, because Juan, he was always living there and then they moved in with him. That would be Juan. Sarah said 65 likes and 120 in chat. Please hit the thumbs up. Follow the money, said Valley Babies. Eyes said law enforcement had her Google info by the time derivative immunity visit. They know their answers already. They want her to get caught in her own lies, in my opinions. Most of the time, if they're asking you a question, just like your parents, if they're asking you a question, they already know the answers to it. I tell my kids that all the time. If I'm asking you, I already know the answer. There's no sense in lying. And she lied. So again, you got to hope there's charges coming, but right now it doesn't appear that charges are down the line. I hope they come.
Years
ago.
Years
ago.
Right after they bought the place. And like him and
I know.
like two peas in a pod. He taught her how to ride her bicycle and took her. He used to take her to school.
Yeah.
And
we told
that's
him
a good point, Teresa.
he was fixing up a van to travel around the country. And we
That
told him, I
was
said,
before
boy, when
COVID,
you
the year
leave, I
of
said,
COVID.
she's really gonna miss you. And he said, yeah.
He said,
So-
yeah, I'm gonna really miss him. He had tears in his eyes. It was
Yeah.
kind of sad.
Hmm.
But anyways.
Does he still visit that you know?
Well, I've
We
only
did
seen him
last year.
once.
We saw him
Last
last
year, we
year.
saw him quite a few
Yeah.
times. He'd come in with the van and then he'd
But
go
we're
in
not here all
and
the
doing
time
his,
either. You know, we're out and about sometimes, and so we don't. He could have been here more times. I know he comes, I think, and does his wash here.
yeah, but this year I saw him once.
Yeah, but he could have been here more.
Oh, yeah, he could have been here more when we weren't here, but we've seen him once this year, so.
Okay, and that was about a week and
Yeah,
a
about
half
last
ago.
week,
Weeks ago,
yeah,
maybe.
last week or the weekend before, yeah. He,
Okay.
I sure hope that they
I
find
hope
her.
you find her all
I think they're still talking about one. I'm listening.
right.
Okay. I see they're searching
I
the
could be
woods
wrong.
here. I don't know. But she went missing at the park near her school? Is that when?
She was reported missing from school.
From
Oh,
school.
okay, because I was gonna say, when they said park, I said, why would they drop her off at the park? They usually
Yeah.
take her to the school, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? At least that's what I'm
Yeah.
assuming they do every morning. They take her right to the school and pick her up and bring her back.
Yeah, bring her
So-
back from school. Yeah.
And you told me earlier that was usually
Yep, and
All the times we've
Very
seen her was
regular. he goes out in the morning with her, and then sometimes
home.
we're not always here, but then at 8, I don't know what time, school gets out fairly early anyway,
Yeah,
so she
around
comes back with her.
4:30 running
Oh,
there.
no, it's earlier than that.
Earlier
than
School
that,
gets
when
out
she brings her
earlier than
home?
that, Yeah.
Okay.
when you last saw her walking the dog. Was that a weeknight, a school night, or was it
I
a
think it was
weekend?
Last weekend, but I'm not
Should
sure.
have been on the
Which was
weekend.
unusual because usually she doesn't walk. It's usually
They redacted.
It's unusual for her to walk the dog.
Yeah, it was kind of unusual. That's why I kind of, when I was sitting there, I thought, oh, she's walking the dog. So, but yeah, and she came back with the dog
Yeah.
and went back in with it. Oh,
And that was in the afternoon, you said earlier?
I think it was
Yeah.
on the weekend sometime.
Yeah,
I
but
think.
I think it was in the afternoon. Pretty sure it was in the afternoon, as far as we know. So,
When you do you remember what he was wearing that day?
So now I think they're talking about Stefan. So it's odd that Madeline or Stefan's walking the dog. I was trying to catch that, but I didn't. One of them was walking the dog, and it was weird because it was a Sunday afternoon. I'm going to back it up just a little bit.
Walk the dog.
Yeah, it was kind of unusual. That's why I kind of, when I was sitting there, I thought, oh, she's walking the dog. So, but yeah, and she came back with the dog
yeah.
and went back in with it.
Okay, so it's Madeline. Fisher Blue, it says he was found peeping into a neighbor's house and taking pics of his roommate's girlfriend under a door. Plus, his friend said he put semen in girls' drink. Pretty disgusting. Yeah, he was putting semen and trying to inoculate the horses with it. All kinds of just depravity. Veronica said Maddie was the one that was apparently walking the dog. So why does she need him? Never going to make sense to me. Never. Right. She had the sister right around the corner to help with Maddie and all of the things. Hey, Nene Nut Nut, there's a reason that Stefan came down. It was more than just to help with Maddie. But will we ever know? You know, who knows? Rhonda said Maddie's grandpa taught her how to ride a bike. She spent a lot of time at grandma's house. I wonder what Jen actually did for Maddie. She seems so negligent, right? I mean, and it's sad. Hey, Abella said he wanted to control Maddie's every move, right? A lot of these cases where the children are being abused, they don't ever say anything to anybody, and it's just like I'll never understand that. Like I'll never understand how these children can go to school and go through all these things and just never say anything. It's so sad.
With it. Oh,
Yes, thank God for Grandma.
And that was in the afternoon, you said earlier?
I think it was on the weekend sometime.
Yeah,
I
but
think.
I think it was in the afternoon. Pretty sure it was in the afternoon, as far as we know. So,
When you Do you remember what he was wearing that day?
He
Oh,
wears a cap.
yeah.
And actually, it was backwards.
Oh, was
Because-
it? Oh, I
yes,
didn't
it was
notice that.
backwards. So the thing was in the back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know what he had on.
couldn't tell you what he had on.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Anything else you can think of that might be important for me to know?
Well, you saw 3 people come in and they were
Yes, but
greeted
that
at
was on
the
Monday. That was
Monday.
Monday.
Was
I
it
think.
after she was reported missing, or?
Well, I guess so. And all I saw was somebody hug somebody.
In the doorway.
Yeah, I couldn't tell who it was they hugged or what. I just saw
Mhm.
it because I was sitting there and
Mhm.
I when somebody walked by to kind of look.
Yeah.
And I kind of looked and I think there were 3 and I know there were 2 adults. I don't know if there was a child with them or if there were 3 adults. I can't.
So this has always been weird to me. There's 3 adults standing in the doorway hugging. One of them I would assume it would be Stephen Stearns. Who is Stephen Stearns hugging because nobody else liked him? I think they said it was Stephen Stearns. Now, if it's not Stephen Stearns, it could have been, family members hugging. I don't know. Maybe like Jen, her sister, and her dad or something. I think they said it was Stephen, though. I'm not sure. Teresa said, if your parents aren't trustworthy, there's no reason to believe any other adult is. Also, schools have a history of telling the parents what their child said, and kids get punished for telling. You're absolutely right, and that makes a lot of sense. Beach Bum said, thank goodness for us nosy Canadians. Rhonda said Jen was on disability, so maybe besides getting child support from Maddie's bio dad, Jen received government support check for Maddie because Jen claimed she couldn't work. Yeah.
But I didn't pay that much attention.
Can you tell if there were males, females, or
There was
anything?
one male and there was a female, and I don't know who the other. I can't remember.
So it could have been Juan, Jen, and Jen's sister. I wish we could I'll listen a little bit more to see if we can find out more information about the male. If it's Stefan, Jen, then who else is it? Because nobody else likes Stefan.
If you had to guess, what time of day was it?
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was kind of unusual because they don't usually. The only people that go in there are the renters.
Yeah, they're the people that live upstairs.
The people that live upstairs, and one has a son.
Yeah.
And
And the other lady's by herself, I
I
think.
think so. I've never
Yeah.
seen her with anybody. So, no, I can't. I wasn't, you know what I mean? I wasn't paying that much attention. I just kind of caught my eye when 3 of them went. And I'm sure now that you told me that she's been missing since Monday, I'm sure it was a relative that probably came.
Yeah.
Maybe her sister, because she has a sister. So
Because that was on Monday, wasn't it?
I think it was Monday. Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause we were gone.
that they probably noticed her missing, so probably told relatives.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Could you state your full name and date of birth for me?
Yes, it's Barbara, and I'm a Canadian.
Can you raise your right hand for me?
Oh, my.
Do you swear and affirm everything you told me is true and correct?
Well, I'm not sure because
You're
But
guessing.
insofar as you remember.
I did just see that Hio sent me another list of depositions, so we will look at that. This is probably going to be a 2 or 3 day process. So tonight I'll work on getting the people together that are on this deposition. I'm going to show you in just a second, and we'll go over those their witness testimonies, basically what they're going to talk about in the depositions tomorrow. Well, I'll play the very end of this, and we'll go to the next.
As I remember it, but I wouldn't want to, specific times or specific
Of course.
dates or anything.
No, I understand that. Sir, can you raise your right hand for
Yes.
me? Do you swear and affirm everything you told me is true and correct?
Yes, as far as I know, everything is true and correct what I gave you.
Thank you. I'm ending my recording at 16:51 hours.
Okay. So let me pull up this other deposition we have. I know I saw, just briefly looking at it, I saw that one of them was the teacher. One of the teachers. So let's see. So we've got Renee Davila. Janik is a teacher. Frankie Joseph, Christine Marcus, Tristan Clark, Julie Junko, Arbery Demek, Laureen Migone. I know some of those are teachers. Hannah Miner and Lindsay Miller. And those depositions are going to be taken in March and April. So that tells me that the trial's definitely not going to be starting in February, because of the times that they're taking the depositions. Oh, wait, this is probably going to be, yeah, those are going to be for the homicide. So the homicide takes place in September anyway. So that's probably why those dates are later. But I hadn't seen this one. It appears that it was filed. Let us see. The 24th at 1:24 p.m. So that would have been what, Friday? What is today? Today's the 26th. Yep, Friday at 1:24 p.m. is when this was filed. So this is new. I will get it out for you guys. So yeah, that's the list of people that they're going to be taking depositions from. I will work on finding out who these people are and pulling those depositions for us to go through, as well as the ones we're already going through. Let me because I just added the second interview with the Canadian neighbors, so we will get that one. This one had more information, in my opinion. Hold on. Okay. Ashley, good to see you. Impossible Spray rocks. Impossible Spray does rock. I love Impossible Spray. They are awesome. A good friend to the channel. I don't know why it won't let me scroll down, so I have to do it like this. Let's keep going. Keep going. Thank you. That's the one I want. Okay.
And 2 renters upstairs.
Huh?
Okay, yeah, no, yeah. We saw the renter was here.
Yeah.
So this is the second interview with the Canadian neighbors. And of course, you know, they're going to talk about this as well in the depositions. Really quick, I've got 2 comments. Rhonda said, okay, thanks. I just don't understand how that works in Florida. I just assumed because Jen didn't really work that she was eligible for government assistance to support Maddie. Yeah, I don't know how that works. Stephen Stearns was always acting. He was either planning, him and Jen planning to go there and commit homicide on Maddie, or he just knew he needed the extra substances to knock them out to do his thing. It's a possible speculation. Carolina said the detective asked Maddie's dad if he thought Jen Soto could have been involved, and he said if she was, he wants her to be arrested and held accountable. They suspect that she was and is holding back info. Yeah, they definitely do, judging by the video interview and the fact that they tried to give her immunity to see if she would admit to anything, and she wouldn't. So again, I mean, I know the detectives feel she was involved. It's going to depend on what the DA feels like they can pin on her. That if the DA don't think that charges will hold up in a court of law, they're not going to go after her. So I hope that they get enough to where they can. Hey, Thomas, and hey, Sub Rosa. Sub Rosa, you're not late. You got here right on time when you're supposed to be here. Hey, Chaz. And lastly, I'll read this one real quick. What's Next said, I don't think Stephen Stearns has a conscience, so I don't think he really was anxious. Anyone capable of doing these horrible things is a psychopath and needs no anxiety meds, in my opinion. He's definitely the biggest man-child I've ever seen. That person, I mean, it's, you know, learning about him putting semen in women's drinks and trying to mess with the horses, and then reading that document that stated the kind of images and videos he would get involving children on the internet, what some of that involved. I mean, it just tells me that this man has been a psychopath for a long time. And you know, I think his parents didn't see it, because you wouldn't see it in your child. You would just think they might be a little odd, but I don't think you would necessarily see that they were a psychopath unless they're killing small animals or something. So it's hard. I saw Sunflowers. Yes, Sunflower May came in. Thank you for being here. All right, second interview with the Canadian neighbors. This is what they're going to talk about in the depositions.
Yeah.
Oh, was that one of them that just came in?
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem.
Well, we thought that was her. And then there's another one upstairs
With a
that has
door.
a son.
Okay. Well, we found one of them at least. She
Yeah,
came
well,
over.
there's another one upstairs that she rents with her son. And her son's about,
Well,
I'd say 15 years old,
yeah,
right?
he'd be going to school because
Yeah.
she'd bring him in. She'd come in later in the afternoon, around 3 or 4 in the afternoon. But
And then Juan supposedly owns the place. He used to
Yeah.
live there. That's the grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't live there now. He That's
converted
his
a
daughter.
van, converted this van into a living quarters, and I guess he's traveling the country. So
see, we were here when they moved in.
No, that wasn't a picture of the couple being interviewed. It was just pictures of elderly couples that I pulled off of my app. Hey, Meemaw. Good to see you.
I don't know how many years
But
that was.
so the last time you saw her was Saturday or Friday.
little
Saturday.
the
Little girl.
Yeah.
It was either Friday
It
or
was on the
Saturday.
weekend.
Yeah, it was on the weekend because she took
We
the little
don't-
dog out for a walk.
Okay.
We don't know exactly when.
But she's
But we don't remember seeing her Monday.
This
And
Monday.
we were here waiting for our friends to come to go to the clubhouse.
Uh-huh.
And I don't remember her
No.
seeing her leave.
Gotcha.
So
And then but the day you did see her, was
This is just looking at this now and listening to this interview. When you compare the pictures of Madeline, like here, she's playful, smiling, happy, feels safe. I assume this is her grandfather, but I'm not sure. She looks like a child here, just happy, having fun in the photo with the bunny ears and things. Here, she's not really smiling. You can tell it's a fake smile. She looks much older. There's a sadness and a darkness about her eyes. She just doesn't, it's not, this is a genuine smile over here. This is not. She looks so much older, whereas here she looks like a child. And I don't know for sure, but I think they were taken around the same time, maybe a year apart. And I was just noticing that, and it's sad. Think about, the speculation of Jen Soto knowing about their relationship and somewhat condoning it. Think about as a child, like you were groomed and abused and you thought that this was okay. This was how it was. You got attention from this man or whatever. However, he warped her mind into thinking that it was okay and acceptable, right? And if Jen Soto knew about it, just allegedly speculating, and she condoned it and said, okay, I understand that for whatever reason, she thought that Maddie was old enough to make a decision like that or whatever the hell kind of psychopathic shit happened to make her say, if y'all are going to be together and y'all are really in love and y'all are going to do this, you can't run away and leave me, hence the Woody Allen comment, and it has to stay in the house. Okay. And then imagine being that child and growing up and realizing that it's wrong and that you don't like it and that you want it to stop. But your mom is in on it and Stefan is in on it, obviously. How would you even, you can't tell your mom that you wanted to stop because she's condoning it. Like, how would you, it would just be such a hard place to be in. And it makes me really sad, thinking about it that way. Perps said that's her ex-husband. Thank you for that. So that's not grandpa. I wasn't sure. I thought it was until we saw the body cam footage at the sister's house and he looked a lot more elderly.
was actually weird or anything like that, or she just walking her dog and came back?
No, everything seemed quite normal.
That's what upsets us, to think that things were going on over there and the poor child. At least if the stuff on the TV is true, which you can't believe half of it anyways, but I thought, we didn't do nothing or anything.
No.
But now there's the other lady. She's just come.
Yeah, we were outside and we had to help her inside
Here's another one that just come.
That is so sad, Sarah.
It just came right now. Is that the mom?
Yeah, right here. This is the other renter. Right, she's going in.
With the son. That's the one that's got the son.
Yeah, but she hasn't got the sun.
Me either. If she like,
Well, he probably at school.
it's already like open now, so it's like they
Oh,
already
it's
did
okay.
everything, so they're finally picking up their stuff.
That's the mother that's going with her.
Linda said kids of 13 talk about things like that. Maddie probably realized that what was happening to her was wrong, right? And if your mom knows about it and is in on it, how do you tell your mom that, hey, I want this to stop. I don't like it. I need it to stop. I want it to stop. This is not, I don't know. How do you tell her that when she's probably like, well, Stefan really loves you and he helps us and he's great. And, you said you loved him or whatever, again, I'm speculating, like, because Jen is only concerned about herself and what people can do for her. It's just so hard for me to think about Maddie's situation. And then if you take the speculation that Jen might have known about it and then look in from the eyes of Maddie wanting it to stop, how do you do that? Like, God, my heart, I just,
Gotcha. But like, when's the last time we saw the boyfriend? What was it, that Monday, or was it like?
No, we didn't see him Monday, but I did see him on the weekend. On that weekend, before the Monday that the little girl disappeared, he was there. I don't forget if it was Saturday or Sunday, because I walked out to go to my van and he was walking out in front of me, and he went to the white car. The white car.
The white car that the mom drives?
Yes.
You know what kind of car it was?
It's I don't know if it's a Nissan or something like that.
That's all we know.
That's why we didn't really pay attention to it.
But that was Saturday?
That was either Saturday or Sunday. Yes.
Sunday.
And they're not the friends, like,
We never got to talk.
so it was either Saturday or Sunday, but I think he said that it was still daylight out, and in February it's not going to be daylight at 8:30.
The grandpa was.
Yeah, we
Friendly.
met the grandfather and we kind of conversed with him. In fact, he came in here one day and he helped us with, I think it was the washing machine we had a problem with, and he came in and helped us with that. But
she doesn't say nothing.
No, she doesn't.
And she always walked with her.
Never. I didn't even know her name.
We didn't even know her name.
Or the
little girl we knew.
Well, we knew from seeing her and
because
saying
she
hi
always
to
was
her.
with her grandpa.
Yeah.
But not lately because the grandpa moved.
Zan said he was there that weekend, and that's where I'm going with it. I think he was there Saturday and Sunday. I mean, but the parents said he left on Sunday, so I don't know. I mean, but I've speculated it. Shell said, if Jen Soto's worst fear, the Woody Allen comment, then what would thinking Maddie was pregnant be for Jen Soto? Jen Soto said she shared Amazon account with Stefan. Did Jen see the parenting coins Maddie emailed Stefan? I have questions. That's a good question. I know it was a text message, but it would have shown up in the history. And that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. Maybe she saw it in the history and was like, yo, what's this? What's going on here? And maybe that's the reason that all of this got set up. With the anesthetic drug being searched, I question, you guys have mentioned some things that I'm not even going to talk about, but I question why we need to put somebody under anesthesia. And we're sending coins like that and all of the horrific possibilities. Beach Bum said, I bet Maddie wasn't even as mentally challenged as Jen made her out to be. I don't think she was at all. Jen Soto probably convinced her she was more affected by ADHD than she actually was. I absolutely agree.
We don't know too much.
Gotcha. But then Sunday, you know what time it was on Sunday that you might have seen him? Was it dark outside or was it like still?
No, it was light. It was during the day.
We don't even know if it could have been Saturday. Or Sunday. We're not here all the time.
I got you.
And it's just when we're sitting here, you can't help but see because your window looks out there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all. I wish we could help more. But
you didn't see him like take anything into the car on Saturday or Sunday?
Nope, I didn't see anything going out to the car.
And what time do you guys usually wake up in the
Around
morning?
8 o'clock. We're usually up around 8 o'clock because we go down for coffee at 9 o'clock at the clubhouse. Except for Sunday. Sunday is closed. But no, if we'd have known about it before, we'd have probably paid more attention. But we didn't know what was
it's
going
just
on.
just from sitting here that you see them passing by. It's not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
or taking the dog out. Usually we see them taking the dog out.
Oh, yeah, we see them take the dog out because they come and pee on our grass.
Yeah, the dog out.
But I mean, is anything you didn't, there's nothing suspicious that you saw
No,
throughout those days,
no,
that weekend.
No, nothing suspicious at all.
You didn't see him Monday at all throughout the day, the entire day.
No, Monday, no.
Was the car gone all day, or what, do you remember the white car?
You know, I don't remember. I know Tuesday when I came home, it was gone because you had somebody out there sitting in a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I thought that was strange. I didn't know it was police. I just thought, this is
Usually,
strange.
yeah,
Your
usually
car's not here.
Usually the white car parks in either the handicap spots. Like I park in one and she would park in the other. Sometimes it'd be reversed. So
Most of the time she parked
yeah,
in the other one. Yeah.
yeah,
But I wish we could help but
yeah. It's too
we
bad.
feel so bad.
I hope that they find this little girl
That's bad.
alive. Anyways, gee.
But, I mean, anything helps. We're still trying to investigate, trying to make sure everything's fine. But do you guys not fill out a statement or anything like that?
What?
Like fill out a statement?
Well, we had a oral deposition the other day with a lady
Well, we
policeman.
told her, we said, we can't specifically remember dates because we don't remember,
Right.
you know.
So he called it an oral deposition. I wonder if that's what the police told these people they were. So if it is an oral deposition, I mean, basically that reiterates what I've been saying, the reason for all of this, this is the deposition. This is their oral depositions, what we have and we're able to listen to. Now, of course, when they go into the attorney's office, they're going to prepare them because they're going to say, the prosecution's going to hone in on you on these things. Anything they see there could be a weakness in what they said, they're going to try to focus in on that and get them prepared to answer questions about the weakness in their story or whatever. But if the officers are calling these oral depositions, then this is what they're going to talk about in the depositions, which is why we're talking about it. Hey Diana, it's good to see you. Hey Allie X. Ali X said, thanks for explaining in layperson's terms what depositions are. Oh, yeah. You told me to Google sevoflurane and hydroxyzine. Hydroxyzine is like a prescription strength Benadryl. It's really good for anxiety. And sevoflurane is basically anesthesia they give small children at hospitals. And they use it in veterinary situations to put animals under for surgery and things. Beach Bum said, how horrific. I bet this nice couple is second guessing if they should have noticed something. I know, like, how do you deal with that, knowing something like that happened and just wishing you had seen something and knowing if you had, you would have stopped it, but you didn't see anything. I mean, it's where the teachers are and everything. You can't act on everything that might seem a little off because what if you're wrong? But then you're hit with, well, what if you had acted on every single thing you saw that was off in a situation like this? You might could have saved somebody's life, and it's just a real hard place to be in. Hey, Eileen, Alice or Eileen? I can't quite see the sun shining on my monitor.
No, we weren't looking for anything or anything. It was just because they walked across, and we don't know. We had a hard time remembering Monday. Then we remember we had a potluck.
Yeah, we had potluck on Monday. Tuesday we went out with our landlord's stepfather, which lives in St. Cloud. We took him out for lunch. And other than that, Wednesday, what did we do Wednesday?
Well, I don't know. The police were all here Wednesday, and Tuesday night they were all here.
Yeah.
I came back from my thing, but we, as I say, Monday we didn't see anything, which was kind of unusual because we didn't see her come home from school.
But you said the mom is the one that takes her to school every day.
Yeah.
Mom
You never
takes her to school and
Allison,
brings her home.
thank you.
Does the boyfriend ever take her to school?
We've never seen him take
No,
her to
we've
school.
never seen him take her to school. And that's why we kind of find it funny that particular day, he's supposed to have taken her and dropped her off 2 blocks from school, from what the news says.
See, that's an issue for me because they're seeing who takes her to school every single day almost, when they're down there. And they find it really weird that Stephen Stearns took her that day. The roommates found it weird. Grandma found it weird. Everybody found it weird. Yet you called him down there to take her to school to help you on your days off. I mean, again, just so much about the story doesn't make sense. You called him down there to take her to school, even though he's never ever done that per everybody else around you. You needed help with Madeline because of work, yet you had the next 2 days off. You didn't take her that morning when all you had to do was go to a blood appointment. I mean, my Lord, you could have just left from the school straight to the blood appointment, went home, took a nap, and then went back to pick her up. So much about Jen Soto's story just doesn't add up.
No.
No problem.
I can't even
Wish we
believe
could tell you more, but
Yeah. I mean, what you're telling me right now, that's a lot more information than half the people really know around here. People are next door neighbors. They have no idea who they even are.
No, because most of them are renters.
Renters.
yes.
Like the ones next door, they just rent. The ones across there rent. The ones back here, there's been nobody in that place except
Next
for when we
door
first
to
got.
us, yeah.
Now we've been coming.
I just dropped the StreamYard link and pinned it to the top in case anybody wants to come up. So it's there. Allison. I like the way it's spelled. That's so cool. Yeah, she did. Veronica said, how imagine him naked walking out of the shower, walking in front of Maddie like that. Yeah. And the fact that he felt comfortable enough to tell that girl just tells me it's happened more than he admitted. He's testing the waters by saying things like that to see what they'll find acceptable. Imagine how many times he had done it to Jen. Tony said, I think she was more involved than we will know. I do too. And it's really sad because I feel like this woman's going to get away with this unless Stephen rolls.
Coming for 18 years. So we come at the same time for 3.5 months for 18
known that
years.
little girl.
So we've watched that little girl. That's how we met the grandpa. And we watched that little girl. He taught her how to ride her 2-wheel bicycle, and he used to take her to school.
Yeah.
He lived there.
Yeah.
I mean, if let's say a detective, like a major crimes detective, comes here, are you okay talking to him about what you know?
Yeah, but we don't know much. I don't know.
Right. No, I'm just saying, because think about it. It's like you know this much, but who knows the little pieces
Well,
actually.
Yeah, you can pick out things in there that.
If we can help in any way, we just hope that you find her.
Yes.
And what are your names? All right.
And we're from Canada.
Canada.
Yeah.
Well, you just come here like us. How long do you guys stay here
3.5
for?
months. But this year we're leaving a little bit earlier because our landlords come. We're leaving on the 20th. And our landlord's coming. Usually we stay till the second week of April.
Fisher said, and that is okay for your boyfriend to walk out naked and wearing boxers in bed, cuddling with your 13-year-old in the nook of his arm. We ain't stupid. Right. Real quick, Rhonda said Jen having Stephen to come help makes no sense and added a whole level of complication that didn't need to happen. Maddie could have stayed at Grandma's house or Auntie's house. Exactly. Fisher said her saying I cannot press charges now makes me think she was worried that he would say if she did. Afraid he would tell on her. Good point. Very possible speculation. Jenny Jen said if he was comfortable for the few months he was talking to his coworker, imagine how comfortable he felt making those comments living with Jen. Exactly. Allison says, I never thought about the way you said it earlier. Basically, you can have her, but you can't leave me. Woody Allen reference. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a speculation, just, I don't know. I was not there. I did not see. Again, if I had seen, Stephen would have been dead. I would have took that mug out, but I don't know. It's just a speculation, but it makes sense, right? Because there's only so many conclusions you can come up with using deductive reasoning, right?
April. So this year we got here December 28th.
We went on a cruise.
And as I say, he wasn't around at all. No. And so we were really surprised 3 weeks ago when he showed up. We thought, oh boy, out of the blue, he's here again, because he just seems he comes and goes. We don't know where he goes.
I don't know where he lives.
No. He just seems to cut like a drifter.
But he's been here for the last couple of weeks, or how long has he been here?
Well, we saw him a couple of weeks ago, and then we saw him again on that weekend,
this past weekend.
Before the little girl disappeared, it was Saturday. And
So they saw him a couple of weeks ago, but this is in February. The last time he supposedly went down there was December for Christmas, and then before that was Thanksgiving, because they all say he came down for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, and then this time in February. But they saw him a couple of weeks ago. I mean, unless he stayed for a long time at Christmas, it would have been more than a couple of weeks.
Sunday, he was here.
Hey, Miss O.
And after that, we didn't see him. After the Monday, we didn't.
I think he came back and was getting packages and stuff, and I do think that they talk about that or reference that.
So, but last time we kind of saw him was like maybe Sunday.
Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kelsey.
And as I say, we're not here all the time. It's just when we're sitting here that we notice things going by, you know.
I gotcha. All right, but that, I mean, the impression gave me was really it was a big help, regardless, even if it was like it wasn't that much.
We don't know much, and from what we've seen, that's all.
We just felt it was strange that he took her to school, because we've never seen him take her to school before.
But you didn't see him.
We've never seen him take her to school before. We thought it was strange. So did everybody else around Jen Soto.
And take her,
No,
like put her in the
No,
car.
we didn't see him,
We
but
didn't see anything.
you saw the news.
according to the news, he's the one that
Took her to
dropped her
school.
off 2 blocks from their school.
Okay, no problem. Do you mind doing me a favor? Like, raise your right hand.
Yeah.
Do you
We
swear and
already did that.
you swear and affirm that the statement you gave is the truth, all truth, and nothing but the truth?
Well, it's
Yes.
as good as we can remember. You know,
Yeah.
we're
So-
old and our memory kind of.
Well,
So you guys spoke to like a detective before? Was it like an
Yeah.
officer?
A lady
detective.
You know, like, was she wearing like she had a little star on her chest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem, but yeah, just
Actually, she came back twice.
came back twice.
Yeah.
No problem, but I'm gonna end this at 11:55.
This is a
Okay. So that's going to be basically the Belmore's depositions. Let's do the gas station attendant next. No, that is not what I said. I was on my playlist computer. You need to stop it. You need to stop it right now. Stop it right now. Okay, so next we're going to listen to Brittany that works at the gas station that saw Stefan getting gas the day that he placed Madeline's body where it was. Where is she at? Here she is. Okay, so the Brittany DeStefano, I do believe, is this son.
I'm required to advise.
Is this Sunco attendant, because in the files it's called Brittany Sunco, and that's the only Brittany I know of other than police officers. So I do believe that Brittany DeStefano is going to be this Brittany right here that worked at the Sunco. This is the gas station attendant that saw Stefan after he had just dumped poor Maddie's body. Miss O, he can't be wearing the same boxers that were in Madeline's hamper. It's just like probably another pair that are like that, because they pulled them boxers from that hamper. So therefore he wouldn't have those boxers on. That's going to be a different pair of boxers.
All right. So time is 10:04. Today's date is March 4th, 2024. I'm Detective Fernandez, Kissimmee Police Department. I'm here with. Before we start, I'm gonna advise you. I'm required to advise you that under Florida State Statute 11710, I am a notary public of the state of Florida, and as such, I am empowered to place persons under oath for the taking.
Beach Bum, I wish I could change the pic. I could put an overlay on if you wanted. It's in the video. Lori said, if Jim was not involved in anything, why, after being told your daughter was SA'd by Stefan, why did you not want to press charges? Because she already knew about it. And the police retrieved pics. Yeah. That's the only reason that explains not having a reaction like that to me.
Of statements and other official records. At this time, will you raise your right hand? Do you swear and affirm the statement that you are about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth, To the best of your knowledge, so help you God. Okay. All right. So, what exactly happened?
So our mornings
Hold on.
are very crazy here.
Sorry. I'm gonna add the subtitles, but it's gonna be still kind of hard to hear.
Typically, my one sales associate, myself, I had gone along to register 2, which is the register closest to where our hot food case is. And I was just assisting in our customers trying to get them out for the morning. And I remember a gentleman came to register 2. I cashed him out. I believe it was for gas. I really do. I really want to say it was for gas. I don't think I rang up any physical items. But I remember he didn't speak. He was very quiet when I said good morning. When I asked him if he had any rewards, he did not answer, to which I ended up putting rewards in. And it was very quick. It was a quick transaction. I remember, like I said, he was just very quiet. He was just very closed off. It wasn't until...
How rude! She asked you if you had rewards and things, and you're just quiet. Don't even answer. Just don't even acknowledge her. He had to say something to pay for the gas because he would have had to tell her how much gas and what pump. But it again just tells us that he's extremely nervous. He excuse me. I can't remember when this, like, exactly what time frame it was, but he's just either done what he done to Maddie's body, put it where he put it, or is on the way to do that. So very nervous, very closed off, having to get gas. Hey, Bazard.
Several days later that the face clicked. And it was like I had him in front of me. I remember seeing him. And it was just, I don't know, it's just like his gut with my memory. I remember him being in front of me. I remember flashing him out. Like, it just, I don't know, it's very, I don't know, it feels kind of gross, honestly.
Well, you said it was 26th.
It was Monday.
Even the gas station attendant feels gross and sick just because she had to ring him up,
And it was in the morning. It was, I want to say, it was after my high school rush, which would have been like 6:45 to 7 o'clock. But it would have been this time. It would have been like now. Like
10 in the morning?
And even maybe like 15 minutes before. It would have been this time that he came.
So at this time, he has got Madeline in the trunk because he put her in the trunk at the hotel at like 9:40. So he's got her in the trunk and is going to get gas from driving around all freaking morning with her in the front seat. Bazard, we are talking about depositions. Depositions are basically the witness statements. The police did oral depositions when they took these audio statement interviews. So we're going over what they told the police, basically their oral depositions, so we understand what they're going to tell them when they're deposed in front of the lawyers. Girl, I think it's a possibility. Sub Rosa says Stefan is too lazy to work, but he can't be polite to the people who are working. His parents didn't raise him right. No doubt.
Came in though, because I remember I would have been back here. She would have got a little bit busy, and I would have popped up there to help her. Today that didn't happen because I have 2 people here. So, but it was about this time that, yeah.
Do you know the exact time?
No.
You know it was after 7 a.m.
I just know it was after 7 a.m. And it was before my lunch rush, which is at 10:55 a.m.
It's at 10:55?
Yeah. Well, it could have gone into lunch rush.
Hey, Stoic.
So yeah, I would have put, we'll say he definitely was not in here after the lunch rush. So 11:20 is the end of my high school lunch rush. So between 7 and 11:20. Yep.
So he was by himself, or was anybody else there?
By himself. It's just him, and he had a white shirt on. Because I remember thinking the white shirt blended with his white and black beard. Like, it was very...
Was it a t-shirt or like a long sleeve?
No, it was a t-shirt.
Okay, so this goes back to he was wearing the red Deadpool shirt that morning. Yet when he's at the gas station, he's wearing a white shirt. And then that night when he's arrested, I think he had a blue shirt on or something. So he changed clothes 3 times that day.
Like a cotton or like a Hanes type.
This is the first and only time we hear about him wearing a white t-shirt. And we know, again, he started in the red. That's what they've got him at in the dumpsters. And then I think it's that night that they pull him in for the interrogation. And you can look at his interrogation and see what he has on. I think it's a blue shirt. Sub Rosa said his parents should demand that he pleads guilty instead of further shaming their family. Yeah. Diana said he was trying to impregnate horses as a child, so I think we established with that his education wasn't that elite. No doubt.
And then
No graphics on it, just plain.
You know where like what pumpy pump guy said?
They don't.
And what kind of car he was driving? Was there dirt on him or anything like that? And what he just pumped gas? He just wanted gas.
Yeah, I want to say he got gas because I don't remember scanning items or bagging items, and that typically would have been how the transaction would have happened. But
you don't. Yeah.
Gas, I would have just taken money from him, and that is how I feel it like that because it's just so quick and he didn't talk.
But you don't recall like him outside. You remember when he paid for the stuff?
It was because nothing flagged for me at that point. So I took care of him, left, and went back to doing.
Then when you saw his face, you remember like it clicked.
Like in the week, my sister showed me the news article on TV, and as soon as they showed him, I was like, I know him. He was in my store. And then the next day, when you guys found him, my sister told me that I needed to watch my videos because then it was like she believed me that he was really here because she was so close.
Gotcha. That's it. Anything else you remember from that day? Any marks on him? Nothing?
No. I just remember him, he was so quiet. He said nothing.
If they pay cash, you never paid cash or cash?
Yeah. I want to say he got $20 worth of gas. He gave me a $20 bill because I didn't give him change back. It was just a boom, boom, have a good day, and he was gone.
Gotcha. That was that day, but you didn't see after that Monday. You didn't see him for the rest of the week.
Teresa says he probably doesn't normally change his clothes 3 times in a week. Yeah, the car does have data in it too. Basil, for your daily update, is over here. He got in my lap and wanted to be loved on, so I'm loving on him. Hey, Jeannie. 444, good to see you.
Quick. I mean, there's nothing else that you can think of at all. Okay. All right, so we're going to end this at 10 a.m. What else you want to add? Worse. All right, this should be good.
Okay. So that's pretty much the deposition they're going to get from Miss Brittany. Oh, well, it went to the interview with, this is the gas station attendant that saw Stephen after he had. We can do Miss Marley's interview. This is going to be Stephen's ex-girlfriend, and I'm going to go ahead and give you a trigger warning. There is some horrific things talked about in this interview. Allison said, didn't one of the essay indictments say, yeah, and it said children and that, which, oh my God. It took me so long to do. This is an interview with one of Y'all, I had not figured out. I wasn't using CapCut at the time, and I hadn't figured out that like it will automatically go through and add the text, the transcripts. So I sat here and listened and did it by hand. And then after I listened to it with you guys not too long ago, I found some places that were wrong. So if the texts are wrong, I apologize. I sat here and listened to everything she said, and like every 2 seconds, I had to pause it and put the words in. So yeah, this video took me forever to do. Stephen Stern's Disney ex-girlfriends. I have put the transcript in because it's hard to hear. I wrote this transcript by hand, so please have patience. If you see parentheses like this, that means that's what I think they said. If you hear something else, please leave it in the comments below.
Hello.
Hey, how are you guys?
I'm Detective Small with the Kissimmee Police Department. Detective Savelli, Orange County. How's it
If you
going?
want to come in, there's
Yeah,
two dogs
absolutely.
barking.
Oh, well, whatever's easiest for you. What do you
Up to
prefer?
It's going to be a little barking. She won't never stop.
We can hang out here then.
Okay.
What is your name?
Magnolia Alejandro.
Can you?
Hey, Anna. Anna said, who called him to come in that day? Jen. If his car was there and he came in his dad's, I don't think he intended to go over for the birthday. Maddie was upset, and I believe it was with her mom. It's possible. I think they figured out that Jen was calling the Lincoln a Cadillac. I think I was wrong. I thought she said Buick, but she might have said Cadillac, and she might have been referring to the Lincoln. Again, if you guys want to come up, the link is pinned at the top. That's the StreamYard link if anybody wants to come up.
You spell it for me.
M-A-R-E-L-Y.
M-A-R-I.
E-L-Y. You?
M-A-R.
I-E-L-Y. Alejandro.
Okay. Okay. Obviously, you know why we're here?
Yes.
Okay. Before we start, I'm just going to swear you in. Do you mind raising your right hand for me? Do you swear and affirm that the statement you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth to the best of your knowledge to help you God?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, from my understanding, you contacted the sheriff's office today. Okay. Kind of explain to us what your thought process was and why you contacted them.
So when Maddie disappeared, that morning I went on Facebook like always, and one of my friends that have no relation to Disney posted it, and I looked at it, and then I realized that the picture of the person, which was the mom, I knew her, so I opened it, and that's when I called my friend. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is.
Yeah, in this interview, it is going to be a lot of the dog barking. She does put him up eventually, but I think he still continues to bark a little bit. That's why I tried to put the transcripts in. Beach Bum said, it always strikes me that Madeline actually appears happy in most of the photos, even the ones, or especially the ones with Stephen Stearns. Yeah. And again, that just, it makes me think that he had warped her to the point that they both thought they were in a legitimate relationship.
At this point, I did not know this guy was still in their life, because when he and I were involved, he told me he broke up with her. So I'm thinking, I watched the news and everything, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that girl got into some other relationship, and that boyfriend, that's why I didn't call you guys that day. Then this morning, I was in the parking lot at work, waiting, and that's when someone told me, hey, so that's when I figured that was her boyfriend still. And that's when I felt really bad, because I met him in 2022. By the end of 2022, we worked together at Disney, and there was like a little group of people that would meet up. We met up a few times to play board games, and
I'm so sorry, Sarah. I think it's weird that they're always meeting up and playing board games. What is with the board games? Like I think Dungeons and Dragons might be a board game. The Warhammer stuff, I don't know about that, but I wouldn't think that's a board game. I could be wrong.
Consequently with that, he and I started seeing each other, more like hanging out here, playing more games, and then it progressed. But it progressed was like he told.
Fisher said what was enlightening is hearing the text messages from Jarvis to Naziah and being able to see how they grew him gave me insight to that in this case on how it happens. Yeah, I'm trying to pull info on that. I do want to talk about that case. I'm probably go over some of the stuff the news has out. I tried to pull info on that case about a month ago, but they told me they couldn't give me anything because it hadn't been trial. And I know it's at trial right now. So hopefully I'll get that back soon and we can dive into that case a little bit. I think Dungeons and Dragons is a board game, but I don't know about the other ones.
Told me that he was in a relationship. He told me that she opened a relationship so she can date someone else, Jen.
Okay.
And then it went downhill from there. And then they ended up breaking up. Then he and I started, seeing each other. Come in, let's see if the dog doesn't bark.
Okay.
Cool.
So that's when I realized that I'm sorry, I'm gonna pull up. You're good. That's when I realized that we started dating. I forgot where I was at. We started seeing each other. We were not officially dating because I don't date people from work. Never. That was my first time. So I told him not to tell anybody because it wasn't anything. We started hanging out here. I never met Jen. I never met Maddie in person.
So she said, I don't date people from work, so I told him not to tell anybody. Hey, Bazard, it's good to see you, love. Hope you're doing good.
Hey, Ledge, and everyone. How's everyone doing today?
Good. How about you?
Good. I'm recovering from partying from last night, so I'm getting a little bit better.
Speaking of that reminded me of something this morning. We were cleaning out under the cabinet, and I have Everclear to make tinctures. I don't make them that often. And anyway, my daughter pulled it out and said, playing around, and she was like, anybody want some vodka? And I said, that's not vodka, that's Everclear, and we don't drink. And my husband was like, I'm glad I didn't know that was there. I would have drank it. And I was like, you would have drank Everclear? Like, really? Everclear? I was like, I think you'd regret it. And he was talking about this thing where you put Everclear in a shot glass like a quarter of the way, and then grenadine, and then you drop it in a beer. And he said it tastes like Dr. Pepper. I said it sounds like the worst hangover you ever had in your life. Have you ever
I've
heard of
that? Never done that, but I've heard of it. And it's like, I'm just, I guess, a simple guy. I'll just go to a bar, get my usual. I'm a Hennessy or rum guy, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't. Back in my day when I did drink a little bit, it was vodka and Red Bull. But I don't know. Even thinking about drinking makes me sick. I never was much of a drinker. Are you okay? Are you hungover?
Oh no, I'm pretty good. It runs in the family, unfortunately, mom and dad side, but just luckily for me and my sister and other young cousins, not really an issue. So it's like for me, I only drink whenever I can go. I usually work most of the time throughout most of the week anyway. So it's like when I have a free day.
Yeah. It's good to let loose sometimes.
It does. And especially, talking about this kind of stuff. It's like, you know what? Just go out, live your life. Of course, be safe. Be fine with everyone. But yeah, so that's cool.
Okay. I do want to let you know you're cutting out in and out a little bit. So I don't know, maybe take 5 steps to the left or right.
Let me see. Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you. You're good.
It must that was weird. But yeah, I just want to check and see what's up and about this particular interview because I've heard of it. It's been a minute, but I have heard it, and it's a very, very interesting interview. I'll say that.
Yeah, very enlightening.
But Jen knew that we were friends. We started being intimate. That's we were just a few times, and then he would randomly make these weird comments out of the blue. Like he would say he vented about the ex-girlfriend.
Jennifer?
yeah, he vented about her all the time. I never paid much attention, but
Stop it,
he
Heather.
made this comment once that because I asked him if he wanted to spend the night, and he said no, because if I don't get to the house, they won't go to sleep. And I was like, what do you mean? They won't? No, they don't sleep if I'm not there. So I'm like, we talk about it a little, and I'm like, but you're not with her anymore. And he goes, no, Maddie won't sleep because she sleeps with me and the mom in the bedroom. And
Right there.
Mhm.
Maddie won't sleep. She sleeps with me and the mom in the bedroom. That tells me, again, that Stefan and Maddie slept in room number 4 together and Jen slept in the bedroom.
Mhm.
So again, it's possible that she didn't see her since Wednesday when she had that Freudian slip, because she had been at grandma's from what I understand. She was at grandma's from Wednesday until Sunday when she got back to the party. And then if Stefan and Maddie were upstairs in room number 4, like I assume or speculate it was normal for them to be up there in that room alone, she didn't see them. But she slips up and says the truth, which was she hadn't seen her since Wednesday, and then is like, oh no, wait a minute, I got to go back to the script. Why is she?
So
Why?
yeah, I was just like the logic is just mind numbing.
Yeah. Why is he telling girlfriend, Maddie sleeps with me and the mom in the bedroom?
Well, see, this is the kind of stuff I think. Um, I'm assuming she'll be part of. I don't know. She'll be part of the trial. This ex girlfriend of his, and I'm thinking they'll probably use these kind of statements to when Jen gets on the stand. The defense is going to hit her like, well, how come? I forgot what's her name. I can't remember her name right now. The ex.
Alejandro Marley. And yeah, these are part of the trial, because what we're talking about right now is the depositions they're taking. And basically a deposition is where they take the witness statement and go over it with them and get them ready for court. So this basically is going to be her deposition. So yeah, they're definitely going to talk about it in court.
Okay, because then yeah, I feel like once Potato gets on the stand, they're good. Like I keep saying, the defense, I may not like their client, but I will give them credit. They're going to hit her like a brick of rocks,
Yeah.
And I hope this, somehow tripped her up, and then of course we go from there. But man, just think of that logic. Like your boyfriend or some dude you're seeing tells you, "Yeah, I sleep with my daughter in bed a lot. It's okay."
Yeah, like what the hell? You're still cutting in and out a little bit. If it keeps doing it, what we can try is for you to like go out of the studio and come back in. I know sometimes that works. But yeah, like I couldn't imagine being with somebody and being like, "Oh yeah, I sleep in the bed with her daughter and she sleeps in the bed in her room like the mom does." I'm like, I mean, either way, like you're sleeping still in the bed with your ex-girlfriend and her daughter, or just her daughter. It's wrong.
It's weird, and I think I know what it is. Like some weird house connection on one side of my house. So because I'm moving around a lot, but I'll stay in one spot.
Oh, okay. Okie dokie.
And I was like, but how old is she? Because I thought she was 12. And that's when he said, yeah, but he said something about her being autistic.
Oh my
but
God.
not being like.
She's high functioning?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm like, but she's still 11. You're not the dad, you shouldn't. I try because I have a bachelor's. I'm a teacher. I don't teach, and I try to, hey, not appropriate. And then he goes, no, she doesn't sleep if she's not cuddling with me. And I was like, well, that's not. And then I asked him, hey, when she moves to the bed, then you can move to her bed and just sleep in her room. Like we went over this. It's not something that I just disregarded, whatever. He had a way to.
So, like any, normal person thinking that this guy is, not doing these things like you would assume, is she's trying to say, hey, she's a little bit old for that. Why don't you try this? Why don't you, when she falls asleep, move her to her bed, or this, that, and the third? She's trying to help him figure out ways to stop that shit, but he doesn't want to stop it. So, it's mute, but like even, he's catching it from everywhere. And anybody that he even references something like this to, they're like, wait a minute, hold up, this is not right. And Jen too, like if you can't talk about these things with people, then you know they're wrong. You can tell
Well,
by the way she acts
it's
when she's questioned.
weird. It's weird that he even mentioned this to her. So I do wonder what was the mindset of him, just like, because it sounds like he said this. I guess they had conversations like this a couple times, and it's like, why would you bring something that up? You know, basically, it's like you bring up your dirty little secret to a random woman that you're just hooking up here and there. It's so bizarre.
Yeah. Because he's trying to normalize it. So he's got this for whatever reason he wants her to know about it. It's probably, if I had to guess, he might get turned on by people knowing about it, judging by the way his mental thing is with the horses and all of that. For whatever reason, he wants to tell her about it. And I think he feels like the more he talks about it and makes it acceptable, and the more she has feelings for him, then eventually she's going to accept it, and he'll have another person that has accepted it. I think he kind of starts off slowly and tries to work his way into making these women accept it. I mean, obviously it worked on Jen. Is my
Yeah.
thought process.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. It's that weird pervertedness. I
Yep.
guess I mean, like not voyeur. It's somewhere in that ballpark. That's what I'm thinking of. Like, yeah, some kind of weird perversion like that. But it's just, yeah. I'm just, to me, it makes me wonder. They slept together, but it must have been, several times here and there. But it was just like, I wonder when did it really click with her, like, stop interacting? Like, I know she did, but it's like, when that moment, like, okay, I'm gonna start interacting.
Well, it's when he makes her basically pretend to be dead while he has sex with her, and it's the only time he's fully at attention, because he has issues being at attention because she's not a child. So that's when, she already thought some things were weird, but when that happened, she's like, yeah, this is not.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah.
Play with words that I thought he was just dumb. I didn't think he was like a bad guy, like doing something to her, Another occasion, he said that he was upset because sometimes he'd go and take a shower, and then Jen would be in the bedroom. And then when he comes out of the shower, Maddie is sitting in bed with Jen, and then he'll be coming out naked, and Maddie will see him naked. And I'm like, but it was the same thing. Why are you coming out of the shower naked? Why don't you just, she's coming in the room, she sleeps with you guys, then get dressed in the shower. Oh no, it's too hot. But he will always, and that was a lot. On another occasion that.
So again, he's testing the waters, and she's trying to help him come up with ways to, combat the situation and make it better. And he's making up excuses because he obviously doesn't want to make it better. Hey, Lauren. Yeah, like Beach Bum said, he loved that. He loved talking to them about it, and yeah, getting their reactions. I think it turned him on. I think he's one of those.
Yeah, it did. It definitely did.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to tell the guys on the phone. He said that he sleeps in boxers, and then it was odd because he would wake up, and this is his words. I don't talk like this, but he'll wake up with a boner, and then he'll have to turn around because Maddie was like cuddling with him, and that's when I was like, okay, this is not right.
Some of you asked if she had a child. Okay, Robert, good to see you. She does not have a child. I think she's got some nieces and nephews. And you asked, why didn't she go to the police? Well, she just referenced about how he talks. She thought he was kind of dumb. So,
Yeah.
being, you would think that you don't think that, like, you and I would personally say, hey, have you ever met a child molester? If I asked you that, you would say, no, of course not. Right. Because it's not, you don't think that way. Like you don't see them as that. Right. So she already thinks he's stupid, like not cognitively all there. So she sees it as like, he's not understanding how this is wrong and how it's weird. So I'm going to try to explain it to him and help him understand that it is wrong and that it is weird. And they break up, and she's just like, man, that's a weird guy, because you don't think you would know somebody that would do something like this.
Right.
And she thought that, Jen is there. Jen is Madeline's mom. So she's like, well, of course, the mom is going to take care of the child and not let anything happen, because that's what you would think, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I remember like later on in the interview, she feels really sorry and emotional about it. And I totally can understand that. I personally feel where she's coming from. I think in her situation, it's like, I mean, you can't say maybe she should have told the police then. Like, I don't know this woman, and he's just a weird dude. He's stupid. Well, he's stupid, but it's like, yeah, but no normal men, quote unquote, normal men or women don't tell someone when they're sleeping with, yeah, I like to have a naked. Well, I like to somewhat be naked with a little girl or boy in bed. It's like, what?
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna, because it keeps cutting in and out, I'm gonna remove you real quick and just grab the link and come right back up, okay?
Okay, that's fine. Mm-hmm.
Okay, come right back up, though. Make sure you come back if you want to.
I did try to, because I say if you're not with her in a relationship, you guys are not living, you're not boyfriend, girlfriend, why are you living with them? There's many people at Disney that are looking for roommates. You can rent a room. And then he said, no, I cannot afford it. And I don't want people living here with me. I live alone and I love it. So
Okay, thank you. It should work now. Sometimes StreamYard will be messed up.
Yeah, like, let me see. Test.
Yeah, it sounds good. So I think you're good now.
All right.
He wasn't going to invite him in, but at that point I was like, there's no way to like work this around. I don't want to be involved with somebody that is doing these things, and I just broke it off with him. He was very controlling, and he would like try to manipulate. And for instance, at work, he wanted us to stay friends. I'm not a person that want to stay friends, so I told him that while we're at work, if we need to talk, we will talk. But other than that, I don't want to keep friends. And he tried to force me into keeping my friendship. He started harassing me at work. And that's when I threatened him, like, if you don't stop, I'm going to go out of HR or I'm going to call the cops. And, but it's just the fact that I feel like if I had said something, but sometimes you wouldn't think, I just thought he was dumb,
When
So that reiterates what we were just saying. She just thought he was, dumb. She thought that he couldn't pick up on the fact that these things are weird and it could, it's not acceptable. He played stupid. And I find it interesting that she references him being manipulative, and she didn't want to stay friends with him at work after they broke up, but he insisted on it to the point that he's harassing her. She's going to reference he's staring her down across the pavilion areas, to the point that she had to call the manager and ask to be moved from that spot for the day, because he's just staring her the fuck down, like, just creepy ass dude.
I feel like he was obsessed with this ex, but it just maybe depended on if he was worried that maybe she'll tell people about him. Because I feel like I don't know if any other women he, had relationships with where he admitted to a degree that he's a pedophile, but it's like, other than Jen, of course. But yeah, with her, I don't know. It seems interesting that with this particular ex, he seemed to be more comfortable, at least hinting that he's a pedophile to a degree.
Yeah. I know that they had been intimate, so if I had to guess, I would say maybe after they became intimate, he felt like he could be more open with her, and he was going to basically, test the waters until he had her accepting what was going on, and didn't work. That would be my thought on that.
Yeah.
Hey, Bogart.
Yeah.
I agree with what you said. Absolutely.
When were you guys in a relationship?
I don't remember when it started because it transitioned from being friends at work but we were done by end of April. By May 3rd is I found because I have to take screenshots of messages. Back then is when I
Obviously, April of last year,
yeah
2023.
May 3rd.
Okay.
Hey, Teddy Bear.
That's when I told him that he was no longer to talk to me. You know.
Okay. And when you guys were in,
So it got to the point that she had to start. She could tell when they broke up because she's having to screenshot messages that he's sending her, and she's telling him to stop and that it's over, just to leave her the f alone. And he's just keeps right on.
What a freak! What a little freak!
whether friends or in a
Yeah, like just weird. And I mean, but it's hard because how do you distinguish between just weird and actual pedophile?
Right? Yeah, it is true.
Girl said if that girlfriend did go to the authorities, they probably wouldn't do anything, right? Because again, you gotta to go to the police, you gotta have proof. Now she could probably prove that he was harassing her, and they might would have called CPS in, which could have saved Maddie if she would have opened up to them. But you know, there's not much else they can do unless you hit them with the pictures and the videos that they finally got after all this happened. Then, they can nail them to the wall.
I honestly, personally think if they did with that route, he probably still would have killed her. He would have panicked a lot more than what already happened. What we know, but I think if they did had CPS, or maybe she did admit to her teachers or someone else more, especially her friends, and they maybe told their parents, I have a feeling that he probably would have killed her a lot earlier.
Yeah, because he would have wanted to keep that secret. But it for me, for a logical thinking person, okay, let's say you did do this horrific thing or whatever. Why did she have to die? Because again, he's been having his sexual fantasies fulfilled, God forbid, for however many freaking years he was abusing her. What, you know, even if CPS got involved, even if she told her friends, would you not rather go to jail for what you had done to her instead of a murder charge? Because eventually you would get out, you would have to register and all that. But
I think he was so possessive of her, and it was like, well, if I can't have her, that mindset, which is still insane, for an adult man to do it to a child. But in this
yeah.
world, we already live, and I'm not surprised. But it's still confusing. Like, well, why would you still kill her? It wouldn't make sense,
Well, what you just said makes a lot more sense than anything I could come up with. If I can't have her, nobody can, and it would correlate with his manipulativeness and his mindset of the situation. So that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Good point.
in a relationship during this same time frame as when he's disclosing all these things?
When we were intimate, that's when he started, disclosing these things as he was venting about his situation in the house. When I was aware that he moved out, then I was, a little more okay. He's out of that, but I don't know. Nobody knows.
Did he ever actually disclose of? No.
The only thing is that they cuddle in bed,
Hey, believe. So basically, using deductive reasoning, I do believe the cop just asked him, did he ever disclose that he was molesting or raping Maddie?
Yeah.
Real quick, Fisher Blue said, yes, that's why it's good to go to CPS, DHS, and cops to have them make a report. Heather Wells said, unfortunately, some blokes talk about young girls and how they would love to. Yeah, unfortunately. BH says something triggered Stephen Stern's anxiety at his parents. He was looking for meds because of the anxiety. Yes, he was. Per said she was getting too old. Again, it's possible. Sub Rosa said, I don't think there was any other crush. It's a possibility. Eyes Wide Open says that's when I think they both may be involved in the cover-up. Even Jen Soto was involved in the homicide on the assumption Madeline Soto was with child, and Jen Soto couldn't let that out. I think it was an accident, whoever did it. I do think Jen is definitely more involved. I don't think it has to be one or the other, and be a combination. Talking about there was no crush.
Like because when he told me that she sleep with them in bed, my naive thinking was that it was Maddie, mom, and him. And I did talk to him. Okay, she sleeps, and he's like, no, she needs to be right next to me because she likes my body warmth. Which I'm sorry, but to me that was disgusting.
She needs to be right next to me because she likes my body warmth. Like she yeah, it's absolutely disgusting. He told her that she needs to be right next to me because she likes my body warmth. And again, let's talk about the message, right? Like, I can't risk it. Okay. I can't have her in bed with me because I can't risk it. It's the same type of scenario, right? Like he told her this thing that made her anxious, made her disgusted, made her, sick or whatever. It heightened her state of emotion when he said to the girlfriend, she needs to sleep next to me because she likes my body warmth. Okay. When Jen Soto texts whatever she texts, I can't risk Maddie being in the bed with me anymore. I can't risk it. Again, that's going to heighten her sense of emotion. She's going to remember why she said that. That's why it infuriates me that she says she can't remember anything. She knows exactly why she said that.
Yeah. I'm always just stumbled when, we hear these statements from, I keep saying Sneaky Potato, and it's like, okay, Potato, when you get on the stand, I mean, tell see her dumb, awkward, eye spreading kind of look thing that she does when they ask questions. Like,
yeah,
and I hope the defense hits her. I hope, like I said, I hate their client. I just hope his defense hits the hell out.
Yeah, because that's the only way we're going to know, right? Like the prosecution is not going to go after her on the stand because they're trying to get Stephen Stearns hemmed up. But the only way we're going to get any kind of factual or anywhere with Jen is if the defense hits her. And I hope they do hit her verbally, not physically.
It's like, we don't want Potato to get hurt yet.
If they get her and she goes to prison, she's probably going to get physically hit.
She will not survive in a women's prison. I can already tell. Yeah. All the mothers in there.
Yeah. It's not a place that. Yeah. Eyes Wide Open said, "What date was that statement? How does it correlate to Madeline Soto's menstrual cycle? It was mentioned somewhere, but I can't remember. I can't remember off the top of my head what date it was either. I will work on that. Someone in the comment section might know. I hope it's televised, Pam. If it is, we're going to be streaming it over here. We will be. I will be watching every moment and second of the trial. We will stream it.
I'm about to say, Ledge, I'm going to head off, but I will see if I can come back later on.
Okay, love. I hope you have a good day and get you some rest from that party last night. I'm glad you had a good time.
Thank you. And everyone in chat, have a good one.
All right, you too. Thanks for coming up. Bye.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Why did you wait to say anything?
From last year to now? Again, because I thought he was just being a dumb person that didn't know to distinguish, because even my dad never came out of the shower naked, but I just thought it was dumb. I did get grossed out by it.
So again, I mean, just like normal people, he played himself off to be so stupid. And just like, I never thought it was not acceptable to be sleeping in the bed with a child. He does that for a reason, because he is extremely extremely manipulative, and he knows, he's again testing the waters. So if he gets the reaction he doesn't want to get, he's going to play it off as if, oh, I didn't know. I'm so innocent. I'm so ignorant of the social norms of society that I didn't understand that these things were unacceptable. So she just thinks he's dumb. Again, she knows that Jen Soto's there. She's like, that's, her child. Of course, the mother is going to have the best interest at heart for the child. So she's got it under control. What right do I have as a girlfriend or an ex-girlfriend to go in this ex-girlfriend's house that he was with for 7 years and tell her, hey, this is not cool. This is not acceptable. Like, that's kind of where she's at. Believe this is the ex-girlfriend of Stefan. We're talking about depositions. Depositions are basically the witness statements. They're going to go over them and reiterate the witness statements and prepare them for court. So we're going over the witness statements because this is basically what they're going to be discussing in the deposition hearings with the attorneys. They're going to talk about what their witness statement was and prepare them to be questioned on the stand and get them ready for court. Andrea, you're not late. You got here right when you were meant to be here. And thank you for being here.
All these comments to the point that I couldn't even see him at work. I was very happy when he quit,
Did you ever confront him about these?
I did.
Yes. What was his reaction to those?
While he was disclosing these things, I would be like, I think that's not right. You shouldn't be doing that. I compared to my dad. He would twist it into, this is like an innocent thing. I didn't mean her. Then he would change it into like, I quickly cover, and.
So again, he's not getting the reaction he wants. So he's going to quickly come up with an explanation. I didn't know. I didn't mean to make her upset. I didn't mean to make you upset. I quickly covered up. There was nothing about it. It was completely innocent. That's how he's playing it off. Hey, Mojo. Thank you for being here. And real quick, Mallory, thank you for being here. Mallory said, Jen was a total negligent mom. Full stop. Screw which I think makes her culpable. But I wonder if Stephen Stearns could have told Jen Soto about the homicide of Maddie that morning, along with the abuse. I think she knew beforehand. I think she knew beforehand. Anna said she loved what Maddie would bring to the house as far as money, but she did not love her. New job, call Stephen to take care of Maddie. She needs a good night's sleep. That's why Maddie was so upset in the party. It's a possibility. I think there's more to it. It doesn't make sense for her to call Stefan, in my opinion.
When I was like, okay, I just don't want to be involved with somebody so dumb. Like I feel bad because I couldn't say something, but sometimes I just thought if I say something and nothing is happening, plus I don't know their address, like I'm going to look like I'm just looking for trouble and
you got to remember that I don't mean to keep pausing it, but there's so much to talk about in this interview. You got to remember that she is the girlfriend or ex-girlfriend of this man. So like, what if she calls and she's wrong? Then she's just going to look like she's the ex that is jealous of the current boyfriend, the current situation the boyfriend's in, when she already wants him to leave her the hell alone. Like she's having to get moved around at work. She wants to stay the fuck away from him. She's having to threaten to go to the police if he don't stop texting her. And so it's just a hard situation for her to be in. And it's not like he came out and said, yeah, I am molesting this child. He made himself seem dumb so that he didn't understand that it was wrong, even though he knew it was, because that's how he presented it. And she believed it because he's extremely manipulative in that aspect. So it's a hard position to be in. I feel sorry for her because, again, it's one of those things you don't ever think somebody that's going to do something like this. And if she had known that was going on, I can almost guarantee you she would have called. It's a hard situation to be in.
Today, looking back, today I got to work and I just couldn't work. So, I feel awful because if I had said something, she would have been fine on me. But my reasoning was like, why is mom allowing this to happen, because I don't have kids, but I have nieces and nephews, and I would never allow anything like this to happen.
You had mentioned that he was possibly like a roommate. So did they start off? How much do you know of their relationship, Jennifer and?
So when he started working at this thing, he would tell everybody that he had this girlfriend. They lived together. She had a kid. It was like his kid. He did tell me a few times that he was very frustrated because when Maddie would do something wrong, he would try to like scold her about it, and the mom would be like snapping at him, "You're not her dad. Do not talk to her like that." But at some point they break up, and he's leaving there because he couldn't afford to move out.
Okay.
But at the same time, because I did talk to him in the house. Apparently, the house is owned by Jen's dad, and then there was a bedroom that they were looking for somebody to rent. So I told him, "Why don't you rent that bedroom, and then live there for now because it's going to be cheaper." And he said that.
So she's saying, since you're already there and obviously going to be staying there no matter what anybody says or does, why don't you just try to rent bedroom number 4 and pay her rent money to stay there or whatever, since you're looking for a place to go? And we're about to hear why he can't do that. Again, telling us that he's not renting bedroom number 4. He's paying $600 a month to Jen so that he can basically have access at Maddie. BH said she, as in Maddie, had been staying at Jen's mom. The first night back with her mom, Jen Soto, Madeline Soto dies. Yeah. I got 2 comments real quick. Rhonda said, if you thought Stephen was so stupid, why would you go out or sleep with him? He's not good looking. He's 37 and lives with his parents, owns nothing. So many red flags. Yeah, I think that she didn't think he was so stupid to begin with. They became intimate. He started telling her these things after they were intimate. And that's when she started to realize, okay, wait a minute. There's too many red flags, basically, and broke up with him after that. But it makes it a little bit harder once you become intimate with someone to just end it. Fisher Blue said, I cried. Oh, I'm sorry that you cried when yours left the nest, but I'm glad that you've got a lot now. Okay, so let's listen to why he can't rent room number 4.
Jen's bed is comfortable, and he wouldn't sleep anywhere. I even told him, like, when Maddie moves to her bed, then why don't you get up and move to Maddie's bed, since she's there, then you don't have to be involved in. Because I told him, like, you never know if she gets mad at you. In my naive thinking that he's a good guy, I don't know, because we don't know, but in my naive thinking, if Jen gets mad at you for not wanting to be with her, she can go to the cops and say that you're doing things to her daughter. Like, that's what I told him. And he goes, well, she's not going to do that. And then I say, why don't you?
How do you know she's not going to do that? How do you know? Like, how do you know she wouldn't do that even if she found out? Hey, Brenda, is it because you know she knows it and you've already told her this, and you know she's not going to go to the cops because she didn't go to the cops when you told her? And is that why Jen Soto thinks that she can trust Stephen Stearns, even though she knows that he steals from his parents, he stole the Rolex, he gets money? He would never do those things to you, though. Is it because he trusted you enough to tell you what he was doing and you didn't go to the cops, so y'all have that trust bond? We're still going to continue to listen to the beds. That's my speculation.
Just move to Maddie's bed, sleep in her bedroom, and have them both sleep in the other bed. That way you are separated from all that. And he goes, no, Maddie's bed is very uncomfortable. So I'm like, okay, you have a kid sleeping in an uncomfortable bed. That's all.
Okay, so she tells him to rent room number 4 where he's supposedly staying, but he can't do it because Jen's bed is the only comfortable bed in the house. And that makes me question, because she said that Stephen and Madeline slept together, but the mom slept in her bedroom in the beginning of this. But now we're talking about like as if they're all 3 sleeping in the bed together. But he's supposedly renting room number 4 and paying $600 a month to stay there. But when he's with the girlfriend, oh, he can't sleep in that bed because it's uncomfortable. And him and Maddie have to sleep together. So are they all three sleeping in the bed together and he's paying $600 for access at Maddie? Like what's the situation here? Is it that he's still sleeping in Jen's bed and he's paying her $600 to rent room number 4 and that's where he keeps his stuff? Is he staying in room number 4 with Maddie and Jen stays downstairs and he's paying the $600 a month rent that his dad gave him, basically paying his rent to stay in room number 4? There's a lot of possibilities in this situation and it's all just questionable.
My reason was, I just wanted to get away from this guy at that point, and I was thinking that Jen would have Maddie's best interest in not letting anything happen to this kid. I'm sorry, I just don't know what else to tell you.
Okay.
Fisher Blue said his father said he was paying for all of them because he was given $600 a month. But Stephen Stearns is still sleeping with Jen Soto and Madeline Soto. Yeah, Lydia, it's a possibility.
Does
he still work at Disney?
No, he quit.
No?
I don't know exactly when because I didn't want to be involved. So, but he did quit. He did tell some people that, and this is as it was happening, that he had a job lined up in another state, but then about not even before Maddie disappeared, somebody, because people at Disney gossip, somebody was saying, oh no, he's living in South Florida with his mom. And then that's when I was like, oh, okay, so I hope he knows that, he can come up here and help look for Maddie. I was, this morning is when I was aware that he was the boyfriend. I just thought Jen had another boyfriend.
What did he do at Disney?
So why is he saying that he's getting a job in another state when he was supposed to be getting a job with his parents? Why did he tell her he needed to go to another state? Is it because he felt like she knew too much and she wanted him to think he was in another state? Sorry, hold on. Basil walked up.
Disney.
He worked attractions. He was an attraction operator.
Do you know if he was in relationships with anybody else from Disney?
They were rumors. And now everybody knows that I was involved with him, which nobody knew until. But there were rumors that so he was working with us in Figment, which is like the dinosaur, like the German, right? But then he moved to Soaring, and there were rumors that he had sex with somebody from Soaring. That's about it. There was this one cast member that was very good friends with him for a while. So I don't know if you guys know. Maybe he said some other things to her.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about how your relationship was with him when you guys were officially dating. Was there anything that stood out?
Because we were never boyfriend girlfriend, but when we were intimate.
When you say intimate, are you guys? We're all adults here.
We hung out.
You having sex or?
We did have sex a few times. This is okay. We're two guys here. Okay. So he was not all there. Like.
What do you mean by that?
Bellis, I can't send Basil to you, honey.
He wouldn't get an erection.
Okay.
Oh.
Like it would be more like a soft erection.
Okay.
And so it was not like we were like bunnies, but it was more like we hung out a lot, we talked a lot. It was more like giving each other company. That's about it. We play board games, so he would come often, and we would just play a board game. We would drink, have a few shots of moonshine.
Did in any of these, whether he's drinking or normal, did any of his behaviors change? Did he ever become different, violent,
He was never
depressed, or anything that stood out?
He was never he was a very depressed.
Okay, so she talks about he was never fully at attention. And we know he wasn't at attention because he was only fully at attention when it involved a child, because he's not attracted to adults. And that's sad and sick.
Depressed person all the time. He was depressed. There was always something troubling him. Like at work, he wanted to be a trainer.
Veronica.
Like if people didn't get along with him, it was like frustrating. Like he was always frustrated. You will, hey, how's your day going? Oh, I'm just frustrated, And when we had an argument, he didn't become violent. Like it's because of I don't know my way to be. I tend to intimidate people, even though I'm like this with this person. But like I give this demeanor that don't mess with me, and maybe that was it. But like
You said he was never violent?
not
right?
with me.
Okay.
But he would argue and like he was like his way or no way. Like you would never win an argument. He was the know-it-all. I know it all, and and he was always right. So more like, okay, you're right. Okay, good. So
That is interesting to hear her say that, because, we all think that Jen Soto seems to be in charge of the relationship, but you hear her talk about, an argument. He's always right. You're the wrong one. He's the right one. That's the way it goes. And then hearing about his personality from his friend, I can say that I do believe Stephen was completely different behind closed doors. And while it may appear on the outside that Jen was in control of the situation, she might not have been in control of it as much as we think she was. I would be embarrassed too. I would be super embarrassed, especially other things she's going to talk about.
So he would just twist things, when there was like I don't agree with you, he would just keep twisting it until he was right, That's about it. But depression, yeah, he told me he wasn't like he takes Adderall, that medication. So he said that if he didn't take Adderall, he wouldn't function. I was trying, in the time that we talked, I was trying for him to get off the Adderall, but he wouldn't.
When you guys were intimate, did he do anything specific? Did he video?
No,
Was
I don't
he?
know that to happen, but one time,
Trigger
he had me
warning.
laid- this is very weird. I'm sorry, but he had me laid face down,
Okay.
like dead. Like it was like face down completely, and he.
Like completely flat?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he went, and that's the only one time that he was really erect. I'm telling you, that was it, and it was very weird to me. Like, just, at some point I was just so grossed out that I'm open to try things, but there are things that you're.
Okay, so he's having her lay down where, he can't see her face. Think about a woman laying down. All you would be able to see is, like, if they're laying completely flat on their stomach, you would just see her hair and her back and, her legs, her butt, all of that. And that's the only time he's fully erect. I've never seen this person. I wonder if her hair is the same color as Maddie's. That's a question I've had, because he's definitely envisioning a child or the child, and he's fully at attention. And it makes me question also the masturbation cream in the book bag, going out to the scene of the crime every night that he could in between the time Madeline disappeared and Madeline was found. It makes me think about the substances they might have been given, they or he might have been giving possibly to Maddie. Again, this is all just speculation. There's a lot to take from that, and I have a lot of questions as well. Hi, Crystal. Crystal says, what in the world? Yes. I think Stephen was envisioning a child from behind. I do. It's disturbing. Absolutely.
You're like, okay, are you trying to have sex with a corpse here, or that was my. And I think that was the last time that we were, because it was too much for me to. It's really hard to see that person at work all the time. Yeah, and when I spoke with the coordinators, which is like an assistant manager, the few times that he would stare at me from afar and just stare, and his goal was to make me uncomfortable.
So he's staring at her from across like the pavilion areas and shit just to make her uncomfortable. Like, why? And it's to the extent that she's got to get the manager involved. G14 Classified said it depends on what her build is. If she's small, it would explain how he could stand at attention with this woman on her stomach because she would look like a child. Right. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And then, just lay there, don't move, just pretend to, not make any sound or anything. Is it you're envisioning a corpse and you're in a necrophilia, or are you visioning a child that is drugged and asleep? Is my question. Sorry to be graphic. Fisher Blue said the doc said Maddie appeared to be sleeping. Control, not having to keep her quiet. The necro, right? And that's what I reference in that. In a lot of the things, it does state that Maddie appeared to be sleeping, and that makes me question the substances they could have possibly been giving her to make her appear asleep, and what he was doing in that moment with this girlfriend. I think he was definitely envisioning a scenario that he had already done, or there could be some kind of necrophilia, necromancy, all of those things. I think it's necrophilia. Necromancy, I think, is bringing people back from the dead or something to that effect. Not sure. I'd have to brush up on it.
I'm a coordinator, and I'll be like, hey, get me out of here, please, and they'll quickly get me out. So the amount of times that happened, it was maybe like 3 times, and luckily, when he decided, there was one time that once I found out he was going to work in my attraction, I just called out. That was the point where he made me uncomfortable, but violent, he was not violent.
So he's staring at her like just making this woman completely uncomfortable. 3 times she had to be moved, and then she finds out he's going to be in her area, and she calls in sick. Sub Rosa said, we don't know what Stanky was prescribed because of HIPAA laws. Yeah, we don't. Hey, Janet. Mayla's mom said, this is totally random, but I can tell by the ex's voice. Do you think he dated Hispanic women for a specific reason? God, I hope that doesn't sound bad. I just don't know how else to word it. I don't think it was for a specific reason. I think he might have been attracted to Hispanic women, but I don't think it was. I think he just liked, Hispanic women, if I had to guess, if I was going to go down there. And I don't think you meant it how it sounded. I understand what you're trying to say. I understand what you're saying, but I think it just, that was his preference. If I had to guess. Hey, Edith. Veronica said, Mayla, I thought about that too. Maybe they were more forgiving. I don't know. I don't think it's any relation to that personally. I think it's just, he liked women. The skin color is really pretty. The tan or the skin tone, the hair and things like that's probably more of what he's attracted to. I don't think it has anything to do with anything else other than that. I think it was just his preference. Some people like blonde hair, blue eyed. Some people like brunettes. Some people like redheads. I mean, I would just say it was his type.
Okay.
The accent, yeah.
Do you know his first and last name?
Meant the accent.
His name is Stefan Stearns.
Okay. You know his birthday?
I'm really bad with numbers.
That's okay.
But I know he's 2 years younger than me.
But you know his first and last name?
Yeah.
And it's a gentleman that was arrested.
Yeah. And I know that his parents live either Sarasota or south of Sarasota.
Did you meet him at Disney, or did you meet him prior to?
No, at Disney.
Okay.
Yeah, he was training when I was already working the attraction.
And how long after you met him did you guys start this
that's the thing. Like, so I was thinking about it today. I started working that attraction I trained in August. Then I started working in October because I went on a month-long vacation. So that's when he was training. There was a lot of new people then, so we all kind of clicked together. And then I would say, by Christmas, we exchanged gifts,
Okay. So by Christmas and then by April, it's done.
By end of April.
So it was like quick, for maybe 4 months then.
Yeah, because we didn't go into it quickly.
Okay.
No, it was
When you guys were at Disney, did he ever drive around like in the woods or anything like that? Was he an outdoors guy?
He is an outdoors guy.
Yes.
I am an outdoors person. I go hiking a lot.
This made me upset because I like to go hiking and camping, and I have a paddle board. We canoe. We have the kayaks. We go out on the boat. We have a boat. I love to be out in nature, and it makes me upset that they were going hiking and all of that too. That's irritating to me.
That's the reason why we started chit-chatting and hanging out more. We went hiking once to Moss Park, but I brought him. I was the one that brought him there.
Did he ever bring you to any places?
No, that's the only one time we went hiking. Because again, the relationship wasn't long.
Yeah.
So I took him to Moss Park.
When was that? When did you take him to Moss Park?
I think it was before December 2022 because it wasn't cold yet, and I remember that I had invited him hiking as a friend, we were just coworkers, and he couldn't go. But we did hike the Splito.
I wonder why he didn't want to be around several coworkers. I feel like if there was a bunch of people around, he would feel like he wasn't in control of the situation. He wasn't the one getting the attention out of the group. I think that would have been a problem for him because Stefan needs to be in control. He needs the attention. He needs to feel like he's the smartest guy in the room. He needs to feel like he's the most popular person in the room. So I think going hiking all together with a bunch of coworkers would have been an issue for him. And I think that's why he didn't go that time.
It's right next to Moss Park.
Okay.
So we went into Moss Park, but we hiked the trail.
Oh.
Do you know, other than his family down south, does he have any close friends or relatives in the Central Florida area? No.
He doesn't have close friends. The only people that he was friends with was the 3 cast members at Disney. One cast member in particular that he hang out with, other than me, by himself.
What's the name of that?
Caitlin Venterola.
Caitlin.
Yeah, they hung out a few times, like with the bars.
You know how to spell her last name?
Yeah. I got my phone. I think I can find her on Facebook, so I don't misspell.
What was her vibe like?
Hey, Malibu.
What was her vibe like? Did you get any?
She's a very late blonde. She has she's special. I don't know what.
ZB Smith, good to see you. It said, girl, I was on Plunder's Live the other day and she mentioned you on several occasions. Just wanted to say hey and tell you to keep up the great content because you're getting your name and content out to a larger audience. Yes, thank you for that. It was super sweet of her to mention me. I couldn't believe that. She's actually got an interview, if you guys want to check her out, with one of Jen Soto's friends. I have submitted the FOIA for it, but I haven't got it back. I saw it on her Patreon Friday night. So she's definitely got that. You guys should check her out. I love Plunder. She's so sweet. There's been a lot of people mentioning little old me over here, and I thought it was so sweet, and I really appreciate all them. And I try to give them credit back too. Like, for instance, the body cam footage of the sister. I saw that the docket was coming out with it, and he had an X link, and I was trying to message him and tell him, good job on getting the footage. And I saw like the pictures on X. And so I knew that there was a body cam footage. So I submitted my FOIA and I got it back. But in that video, I thank him and Plunder because if they hadn't put it out, I would have not known it existed. So I told them thank you too, even though I got it from my FOIA. I thought it was pretty cool. They are so sweet. And I do appreciate them. That was awesome for them to shout me out. I think I said, I don't know if I said, I think I said Miss Kimmy Akers. So hey to you, Miss Jim Morrison. It's good to see you. And Chaz, I don't know if I said hey to you.
What she has going on, but she is very like she's angry all the time. She's a cast member that is angry she's the only one cast member that I know he hung out with a lot.
Is this the one that he was rumored to have?
No. Not that I know of, because I never asked for who it was. I don't care, you know.
So rumored to have what? I want that interview with this person. Can I get that? Because I know they interviewed her.
But if he talked to someone a lot, that would be
Probably her.
yeah. But when we were friends, he was open. He didn't have friends. He was always he told me that he was very frustrated because when he was younger, he could have any sex with anybody he wanted. And then since he got older, it was harder for him, you know, like he felt like he was ugly. That's about it.
So Stefan had an issue because when he was younger, he could have sex with younger girls. When he got older, he could not have sex with younger girls. And that's why he was frustrated and felt like he was ugly. Because to a freaking child, of course he's ugly. He's an adult. That irritates me thinking about what that statement means, you know, now that we know the situation. Sub Rosa said he probably gave her the gift that keeps on giving. I hope not.
Did he ever tell you about what he's attracted to? No. Okay.
Well, Hispanic. That's what he said.
Okay.
You know.
No, I didn't know if he had said like older, younger, whatever. Okay. Do you think he's capable of doing anything?
I don't know him a lot. Anybody is capable of doing
Correct.
anything, but did I ever feel threatened by him? No, I did not. Does he play with words and, you know, like, yeah, you know, I once I figured that he was like a very, I don't know, it's not a dominant, it's like a manipulated person. Yeah, he is. That's about it.
All right. Well, we appreciate you talking to us and calling the sheriff's office.
I'll leave the card if you can think of anything else or something. Just give us a call back, okay? Thanks for reaching out.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Something I want y'all to keep in mind is that, you know, like she said, anybody is capable of anything. She didn't think he was capable of something like this. No. She thought he was manipulative and that he played with words. But as far as something like this goes, no, she did not see or think that he could do something like that. Let me see what I've got. Is that as far down as it goes? Yep. Okay. So I guess we'll go ahead and do the flat tire witness. Is that the first one? No. I gotta roll back up.
Oh, your car here. That's gonna show.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we are at the Kissimmee Police Department in reference to case number 24001896.
So this one is going to be, oh, let's wait. Let's wait to do the flat tire witness because this one's not that, there's not a lot of information in that. I knew I had more. I was like, wait a minute. We're going to go ahead and do one of the teachers. If I can get my thing to move. Let me try to take it up. There we go. Okay. So we can do the First period teacher, this is going to be... This is an interview with Madeline's first period teacher. Hold on. First period teacher is Miss DeLuca. So this is going to be Angela DeLuca's deposition. We'll probably go after this. And we'll do the flat tire witnesses, and I'll work on getting the rest of them together for tomorrow.
Hi, Miss DeLuca. How you doing? My name's Detective Payne. You can just call me Jeff. You want to have a seat? Sorry for the ominous setup, but this is at least we're in some air conditioning at least. So. All right. So first name is
Angela.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, they put us kind of over here in the corner, didn't they?
I
So
don't know the portable numbers.
there's a handful of us. That's why we're out here. We're not in the office. But what's a good address for you?
Just by the way, I cut out personal information, first names, some last names and whatnot. I saw somebody put out interviews. It said, interviews that have never been heard before. And what that person did was put out all the interviews with the teacher and the counselor and didn't redact their names. Like that's just not acceptable in my opinion. First of all, you clickbaited people, which is absolutely disgusting because it was done on purpose. And you have put out information on these people that they might not have necessarily wanted out. I'm aware that we're talking about the depositions and things, but I think it's a little bit different when you're like, oh, these have never been heard. And the only reason you think that you're presenting it that way is because you're not redacting information on interviews that have been out for months. Hey, bada bing, bada boom. Rhonda said, in my opinion, even as a teen, Stephen was manipulating girls to sleep with him. I think that he's always been a con artist. I think he definitely was too. Sub Rosa said, I don't think PDF files can be treated or cured. Maybe shock therapy or waterboarding. I don't think there's any treatment that works either. I'm with Perfed on that.
Okay, cool. How do you?
She's in my first period class, so she's supposed to be in my first period class.
Okay. What do you teach?
I teach.
Okay. How well do you know her?
I thought pretty well. She has been in my class all
You're
year.
going to hear typing. It is the officer. For some reason, he's typing it up. Miss Jim Morrison says, I guess his intelligence is based on the person he's communicating with. He plays with toys. I can't imagine having a conversation beyond a 5th grade level. I agree.
Year round. She's always very sweet and
I'm sorry, bad girl.
Struggles a bit. I mean, all my kids are intensive kids, so they're the students who are struggling. She was on my door decorating team.
So I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but she's been in your class since fall.
Since the beginning of the year.
Fall of 23. And then, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She was on my door decorating team. She was actually chosen to be my student of the week from 2 weeks ago for helping us win our door decorating competition with our friends.
Okay.
And she came before school and after school a couple times for that event, which was 1 week.
Okay. So she got student of the week.
Yes.
With the door
Her
decorating.
certificate's on my desk to give her.
Okay. Did they win door decorating?
Yeah.
Okay. You said that she came early.
Yes, her and her came with a few other students to help with the door decorating the week of Literacy Week, which
Okay.
check if you need exact dates. I think it was January.
Do you have a picture of the door?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you text that to me? And I will text you right now, so you'll have my number.
I wonder what they're going to use that picture for.
And our door was all about spreading kindness and love, and they put in a lot of thought and effort into it. With it, so I'll send you the picture.
Oh, perfect.
Of her in it.
Yes, perfect. Perfect. How well do you think you know? You said you thought you knew her pretty well. Did you guys have like one-on-ones? Like, how
Not
do you?
really any one-on-ones.
Okay.
Like I didn't even know. Like I didn't.
Okay.
Like I thought I knew her. Like I know my other students, but we've never really had a lot of personal talks.
Okay.
Really, her showing up for door decorating was probably the most that I've had like private conversations with her. But it was with her other friends there.
Hey, Natasha.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Not the most tech savvy. I've been talking with the other teachers. I know she's very good friends with. Don't know.
Oh.
I'm speaking of.
Okay.
She's also good friends with, I believe. Okay. I think that is sending to you now. The picture right next to her, and they both won Student of the Week for door decorating.
Okay. Let's see. Make sure I get this. Yep. Okay. So green sweater is
Yeah.
behind. Who are these two kids on the left?
They are Blaze Affey. He's in a different period grading.
Okay.
And that's Apollo Chungada is his last name.
Okay.
And my peer mediator is the taller one, Sarah Diedrich. She's an 8th grader.
Peer mediator?
She's like my student assistant in the first period class.
Was she?
I don't believe so. She is in the same in that period.
Okay. And what is her name? I'm sorry.
Sarah Diedrich.
Sarah D-E.
I believe it's D-I-E-D-R. I can actually look her up for you.
So that's going to be one of the other teachers, Sarah Diedrich, that they're going to get a deposition from. Liddy said after years of treatment in jail special, they got a weekend of, and boom, it happened again. Oh, goodness. I'm sorry. I don't know if you were talking about you or something else, but either way, I'm sorry. Miss Jen Morrison said, were those drawings Maddie did in her school notebook? Maddie was spelling. Why wasn't Jen helping her with their assignments? She was watching her like a hawk, but not assisting with anything. Right. Yep. Great question.
It's this top in here.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Do you need the other students' names as well?
Sarah, I'll just take Sarah. D-I-E-D-R-I-C-H. And she is
Oh.
in grade 8. Okay. Student helper in same period. Okay.
Yes. And the other two are not in the
That was a student that I forgot to redact. I apologize.
Okay.
I don't know why they didn't.
Did you ever, you said you never really had like one-on-one conversations with
for door decorating, we
Okay.
would chat about certain things.
her?
I
So
know
she didn't confide in you or anything?
not anything like what we learned about last night, nothing like that.
What did they tell you last night?
About the
Of course they redact.
maybe sexual assault. I don't know. I just know that there was maybe some kind of
Okay.
stuff on his cell phone.
Okay. Who told you that?
I saw it online. The police, the sheriff
You saw it online. Okay.
report. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
the sheriff report.
Okay. Okay.
As far as I know. The only thing that I can say related to that is I know that she had been reading a book a couple months ago, and it had kissing in it, and it was a graphic novel, and she was like scandalized that there was a kissing scene. So I hope and pray that nothing had been happening sexually. I don't know, but she had been acting like, oh my gosh, kissing, like that it was like a shocking thing to like see a picture of two people kissing. They had been talking during.
This is interesting to me. Hey, Debbie, thank you for being here. She saw a kissing scene in the school book and thought it was so scandalous. So she knew that it was wrong. Again, making me question whether she flipped out that day and told him she knew it was wrong and she didn't want no part of it. Because, you know, for her to think that the kissing scene in the book is scandalous, obviously you're going to think the act of sex is scandalous. So she knew, you know, what was happening to her was wrong. I think that we can gather that from that sentence right there. I mean, that's what it tells me, if I'm speculating. And so again, why didn't she say anything? Did she fight back that night? Did she say, I know it's wrong and it needs to stop?
during, again, I'm not part of this conversation.
Yeah.
They were talking about how they had heard Lady Gaga's, oh my God, Want to Take a Ride on My Disco Stick, and Miss DeLuca, did you know what that song was about? So they've had, but they were all acting very, scandalized, shocked by it. So I'm hoping and praying that she is not.
So when you know they're acting scandalized or shocked by things like that, the last thing in your mind is going to be that they're, being abused, because obviously they know it's wrong.
That, but I don't. But that's most of my students. They're 12. They're just learning about that kind of thing. They're going through sex ed and science class right now. Can I ask, was there evidence of that?
The investigation's still ongoing, so unfortunately I can't really go into too many details. So she never made any disclosures to you about, like you said, sexual abuse, being abused in any other way at home, nothing like that?
No, I didn't even know that. I'd never heard her mention. I don't think I've ever. I'm trying to think if she came to open house, but I don't think so.
Jen didn't even go to open house.
So you have not met anybody in Angeles?
I believe so.
Okay. Have you seen any signs of depression or suicide?
No.
Suicidal ideation, anything like that? Okay.
I was shocked when the kids were telling me about the live in the woods conversation. I was, no, guys, that's. It was on her phone, but I was shocked to hear something like that. She was very excited about her birthday.
Okay.
I don't either, Mom.
How are her grades in your class?
Low.
Okay.
She's had a D pretty much every quarter.
Miss Jim Morrison said no job for 4 years and didn't attend open house. I never missed one and worked 2 jobs. I was always there for open house. It's weird. I mean, again, it just, it appears that if it had to do with Maddie, she wasn't interested. Bet you she was at the pharmacy, though, when she was supposed to get her scripts refilled. I mean, I'm just saying.
Kind of like when we are working in class, she's able to, and then she does get extended time. It's the follow through and getting things done that she didn't really do very often.
Okay.
She has trouble following through and actually completing things, getting things done. Where else do we see that? Where else in that household do we see that? I'll let y'all answer that question.
Have you seen any real shifts in her behavior?
No.
Okay.
I said the teacher says that Madeline has trouble following through and completing her assignments. She doesn't finish her assignments. She doesn't follow through all the way to the end and complete the assignment. We see that from Jen. Jen doesn't follow through. She doesn't go to work. She doesn't continue to keep a job, continuing to show up. We see it behind green door number 4 with Stefan. He doesn't follow through. He doesn't go to work every day like he's supposed to keep his job. I think it was a learned behavior. I think that Jen didn't give a shit about her schoolwork, and so she wasn't on her about it, making sure she finished it, in my opinion.
If anything, I would say that it was almost better since like door decorating. Like I felt like she was trying a little bit harder in class.
Okay.
I'm glad to hear that y'all had good parents and that you guys followed through and that you were there for your kids. That makes me happy. Veronica says bad examples. Right. How is she supposed to learn when you're setting such a bad example?
And I'm sorry, when was the door decorating competition?
I think that's what I was going to take. Find out where that picture was from. I'm sorry.
Yes,
so that picture was when it was finished, was January 26th. So that was a Friday. So that full week was when we did door decorating.
Okay.
January 22nd through the 26th.
22nd.
And there was a few days before school and a few days after school
Hey,
that they
Hunter.
came and decorated. I no longer have the log of what days they came.
Okay.
I just, once I had her name on the list.
I'll just mark it as the end of January.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you think I need to know about? Is anybody she talked to? Anybody? Do you feel like anybody she might have confided in?
Yeah.
Friends. And then when I'm talking to other teachers, they go, "Oh no, the other so on." They are like, "Oh, we don't see us as much." But I would have said that together.
It's redacted.
All in my first period together. Okay. So they're all together, and I kind of just associate the three of them together.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything else?
I think so. Okay. I've been crying since Monday since they called me and tried to ask if she was in my first grade class that day. I just wish we had more information.
Okay. I certainly appreciate taking that time. Okay. Can you swear and affirm everything you told me has been true and correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Thank you so much.
I don't think she ever wanted Maddie to succeed at anything either, Tony, unfortunately. Liddy said waiting for the grandfather's interview. Yeah. He's not on the list of depositions that I saw. He might be on the new one. I am going to check on that. But we can listen to it. I mean, if that's something y'all want to hear tomorrow, we'll definitely go through it. And like I said, right now we're doing the deposition stuff, but if you guys want to go over that again, we can. I don't know when we'll get the list that has the family and all of that on it. But if you guys want to talk about it tomorrow, it's not a big deal. They're going to call them in. They're going to do their depositions for sure. So, it's not going to hurt to go over them again. I enjoy this. I enjoy going back through the interviews and talking about basically what is going to happen at the depositions, because again, they're going over what their statement was and getting them prepared for court. So I find this interesting. Artemis Prime, it's good to see you, love. Artemis Prime says justice for Maddie. Bogart says none of it was normal. Yes, Hunter's Moochie was an IEP. Boomer said Jen is all about false appearances. Maddie was always dressed nice for a picture, but was known to wear the same outfit to school frequently. Shorts in winter. Yeah, it was Florida, but yeah. Narcissist mother, says Artemis Prime. Hey, against all logic, we're about to roll out, so you'll have to hit the replay. Fisher Blue said, yes, keep her on the spectrum and getting IEP to prove she has a disability so she doesn't have to do anything and get her money off of Maddie's so-called disability. Yep. It's good to see you, against all logic. I'm sorry that we're about to end it for the day. It is Sunday. I do need to cook. We got to have our church that we do, here as a family inside our household and all that. But I will be back tomorrow, just like every day at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we will continue talking about these statements that are going to be gone over in the depositions. Bad Girl said, rest easy, Maddie. We're fighting for you, darling. That's so sweet. I hope she can rest easy. I hope that she gets the justice she deserves. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Please consider hitting that thumbs up on your way in or way out. If you're watching this on replay, I really appreciate you. I appreciate everybody that is here with me this Sunday. We will be back tomorrow. We will continue this dive into the deposition situation. And I hope you're all safe. I hope you stay safe out there. I hope you have a good Sunday. Spend some time with your loved ones. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.